give my opinion and carry Annie.
Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Happy Monday. It's your boy, Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show where we basically get into all the latest celebrity news, gossip, anything that's going on with entertainment, and, the pop culture, music, movies. We talk about everything on this damn show in case y'all ain't noticed. But yes, we do. So, before we get started with the topics, I'm going to let you know what the rundown is in a good old second. Can you please do me a solid and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. And child, I just looked and I was putting the show together. I am literally one subscriber away from hitting 600. I know people are like 600, that's it. But it's like, since I've been really putting, first of all, anybody who subscribes and becomes a part of the show and tells me how much they love the show and all this other stuff, every subscriber counts. It's free. I'm not asking y'all for no money. I mean, maybe down the road I will when I put up the Cash App and all other stuff, or when I decide to monetize the channel. But since I've been putting a lot of energy, blood, sweat, and tears into the show on my own, I appreciate every person that comes in, and I've noticed that the channel has been growing, because prior to me actually putting the time and work and effort into the show, I really like my growth has been pretty much slow and stagnant. But since I've really been pushing out a lot of the videos and all the other stuff, and cutting it up and editing it and all the other stuff, and seeing how like the algorithms on YouTube is finally in my favor, I'm noticing like on the daily the channel has been growing extensively, and that is basically what I wanted. And I'm a true believer. Why am I stuttering? It's like, and I'm a true believer that whatever energy you put out in the world, you're going to get back. So now that I'm taking being a YouTuber, a podcaster, a celebrity news and gossip person seriously, because here's the thing. In 2026, it'll be 20 years that I've been doing this. So now that I'm putting a lot of energy and stuff into this, I'm seeing the payoff is finally working. So with that being said, like, please hit that like button, that subscribe button, and notification because yes, I'm putting a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in this channel, and it warms my heart to see that the hard work is finally paying off. And I'm not trying to compare myself to other people, because there's a lot of people who have thousands of followers and all this other stuff. But here's the thing: I don't solely depend on YouTube. I don't solely depend on this as my source of income and all this other stuff. I appreciate, and this is my passion, but I'm not, solely dependent on this as my livelihood. So when I do put in the work and stuff, I'm trying to give y'all, well, not trying to, because either you do, to do or to do not. There is no try, in the words of Yoda. So, all the work and the energy I'm putting into it, like I said, I'm so grateful for all you guys. And it's just good to see like my hard work is finally paying off. So I appreciate every person that has taken the time to actually not only subscribe, but also watch the show and watch the live feed and actually partake in the conversations and stuff with me, because this is an interactive talk show where I love getting the feedback from the followers. I don't want to call y'all fans or whatever, because fans just seem like some groupie type shit. Like, I consider us friends, or hey George, hey sis, hey, what we need like a term or something to call y'all. Like, hey cuz, maybe we could do something like that. Like, I see y'all as friends, family, that sort of thing. Like, like-minded people who have similar tastes or sometimes difference of opinion, which I do encourage and appreciate on the show. So we're gonna get into a lot of topics. We got Anita Baker news. Child, she a hot mess, but I don't know why people are surprised with this behavior coming out of her. We got this story that I really wish yesterday that I would have seen this. I saw it after the show, because this would have been perfect to kind of go and interlink with my Justin Timberlake story. So there's a story coming out about Jennifer Lopez, because them tickets sales was so bad that her team went in crisis mode and was trying to talk her out of canceling the tour. But because she's a Leo and stubborn as all get out, I know, because I know a lot of Leos and I got a lot of them in my family. She was adamant on trucking through with this tour. So we're going to talk about it. Plus, there was a story that I was going to talk about yesterday, but I'm glad I dropped it so that way I can go with this Jennifer story, J-Lo story, I'm sorry. Ben Affleck prefers alone time over, being up under his wife and all the fame, the fame horn that she gets off on. Plus, Child, 50 Cent is beefing with Diddy's son, King Combs. But here's the thing, I'm Team 50 because King Combs should have minded the business that pays him. And then in the song that I only listened to a little bit because the song was horrible, he pretty much snitched on himself. I'll tell you exactly what he said. That kind of he snitched, but we're gonna, and child, if the feds ain't listen to that song, they need to, because then y'all need to be checking all them damn houses to see what shit, other stuff they got hidden up in there. So we're gonna talk about that. Plus Tyrese Gibson is being sued by his ex-wife. See, talking about minding the business that paid you. We got that. Plus, Oprah is apologizing for being a major contributor to diet culture. Pauly D is revealing his near-death experience. He revealed it on the last episode of Jersey Shore Family Vacation. We're going to talk about that. Plus, Brad Pitt's security guard is coming to his defense over Angelina Jolie being the vindictive biatch that we knew her to be. But you know what? Sometimes when you get blinded by the pussy, you don't see it until years later, or until it's too late, until you've been sucked into the whole situation, the vortex. Plus, we haven't really talked about this on the show, but Mike Tyson has an upcoming fight with Jake Paul, and now they're talking about, we'll entertain it, but they're talking about people are drawing concerns over Mike Tyson fighting someone who is way younger than he is in the ring, and what damage Jake Paul could possibly cause towards the icon that is Mike Tyson. Plus, we got some drag race news. On Pearl is talking about that she had, she's cringing over, I guess, or speaking out about some fan behavior. Talking about that gay famous left her traumatized. So yeah, there's a difference. There's famous and then there's gay famous. And people on the drag race, well, y'all are gay famous. Y'all not famous. Like RuPaul is famous. But the girls that come out of that show are gay famous. And then plus, Violet Chachki is addressing the fashion photo review backlash. We're going to talk about that because she was not my favorite of hosting that show. And Michelle Visage is opening up about why RuPaul asked her to host RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under. And so those are the topics I had because it was a little slow trying to find, tea to talk about. But if there's some stuff out there that y'all find interesting that you want to let me know about, some breaking news, something that's going down while I'm doing the show, because I can't be checking social media while I'm doing a live show, definitely let me know down in the comments and I'll address it. But I do like when we have our little random conversations in between topics, which we did yesterday, which is why the episode was 3.5 hours. And I have been in the midst of cutting up some of the topics from yesterday, but I'll probably do that as well as the one from today. But yeah, just let me know what's going on and let me know down below. Wait, hold on. Let me hit my banner and let me address some of these comments and say hello. Divorce is coming. Yes, it is, and it's only a matter of time, unless he and um unless J Lo and Ben Affleck are gonna really save face, kind of similar to like Dorit and PK from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, where they're gonna try to put on this united front. Yeah, we separated, or because you want to keep that money coming in, or you want to save face and continue to put on this facade. But Ben always looked like he's got an ulcer that's about to explode any moment inside of him. Like he always looks annoyed. But look, you married her. And said thoughts on the rumored remake of Barbarella. With I haven't heard anything about that, but I did hear Sigourney Weaver is going to be in The Mandalorian, the Grogu movie, because I've heard that there's not going to be a Mandalorian season, but they're doing a Mandalorian movie, and Sigourney Weaver's going to be in. I just heard that today. I need to look further into that story. But Barbarella with Sydney Sweeney, I don't mind it. I like it. I like Sydney Sweeney. Look, she got big boobs like Jane Fonda. So they got the physicality down. Now I just need to see like what the story is going to be, or how they're going to tackle it, because Barbarella, in my opinion, is like one of those camp classics like Flash Gordon. I love Flash Gordon. That movie is so gay. But yeah, I love Flash. Like it kind of gives me that whole, aesthetic from like, I love cheesy 70s like sci-fi type stuff, like similar to that, like Barbarella and like I said, Flash Gordon. Like I love that type of that type of stuff. So I mean, I guess what they would have to do is take more of a serious approach. That's why I'm still mad that they never did that Red Sonja remake that they were going to do. I think Robert Rodriguez was going to direct it, and who was going to be the star? I see her in my head. Rose McGowan. Rose McGowan was supposed to play Red Sonja, and I was like, that's perfect. And I think that we're gonna go more of a Lord of the Rings ish type of vibe, like very they were gonna take more of a serious approach, like real action oriented, that sort of thing. I would love to have seen them kind of take that approach. I think maybe they would have to kind of go that way with Barbarella. Like you would have to go more serious in regards of the look. But you can kind of like do like sort of because when you have the aesthetic is serious, but then the whole situation is like a little wink at the camera. If they could find that balance, I think that would be good. Absolutely, blinded by the cat because a lot of these men tend to get that way. Like, no, it's me. Or does it feel like Ben Affleck is one of those type of dudes that didn't get a lot of pussy growing up? Like he gives me that. And then it's like he's so glad to get get smiled like a Jennifer Lopez. But I'm like, Shabba, first of all, if he really came to New York and seen the girls that look out here, like he would get lost because I'm sorry, there's so many other girls out here that are way hotter than Jennifer Lopez. But because it's Hollywood ain't never seen no girl that looked like J-Lo from New York. So they prop her up as this amazing thing. And I'm like, first of all, there's so many bad girls out here, small waist, big asses that are just naturally hot. But they, because they thought with Jennifer Lopez behind that was like, oh, big boot. I'm like, child, I've seen bigger and more natural. Not saying that J-Lo booty ain't natural, but I've seen badder chicks out here in New York. It's natural they body. Robert said, Apple Music saying and giving credit to Robin going independent and making it easy to be a pop star in today's culture for acts like yeah, and I feel like a lot of people don't really give Robin her credit. Like, yeah, she was known as a two-hit wonder. What was she like? It was Do You Know What It Takes and Show Me Love, where she was doing a lot of that Max Martin, teeny bopper pop music. And everybody thought she was a black girl, similar to Pink and similar to Madonna. Like people thought Robin was a black girl. No, just a white girl from Sweden who had a good ear for music. But shout out to the Swedes because they always got good ears for music. And um yeah, then she went independent because they were trying to make her into something she wasn't, and she took a risk and she came out with this whole emotional electro pop type vibe with the Body Talk trilogy, which I was obsessed with. It's funny because I remember when me and Chauncey Dandridge, who has the Madonna worship thing, annual Madonna worship thing, when we were doing a podcast around the time of her Body Talk era. And we were just obsessed with that record. Like we was playing the music, we was talking about it, we was breaking it down. Like, damn, I missed them day. But that goes to show you how long I've been in this podcast game. When did Body Talk come out? 2010? What year is this? So it's like 15 years ago. Like I've been podcasting off and on for 15 years. Had my own show for 7 years on all digital radio until they didn't want to grow and progress. And I know other people have been trying to woo me to do other things, and I have been entertaining it. Like I'm looking at, I know, don't kill me, but I know, We Are You Radio, the gay podcast, the gay radio network is urban. They do a lot of urban music. I would like to do something with them, but I'm like, when it comes to shows, I cannot be somebody that's just like, okay, we're just playing all music and I'm jumping in for like 10 minutes and doing gossip and celebrity news. I can't do the whole Wendy Williams back on BLS type days. Like, that don't work for me. I have to be able to do something where it's like a full-fledged, I'm talking the whole show because that's what people like and that's what people are entertained by. So I can't do the whole radio. I mean, I feel like that whole dynamic has changed. Like people don't listen to the radio like that anymore. People are really into podcasts. So it's either that, and I'm still entertaining the idea of Daniel RDCO and that whole thing, where he's got his radio station. A lot of New Yorkers are doing that, but um was he? Oh yeah, he was chunky. So yeah, he was giving me like he was getting coochie and stuff. But yeah, but people need to give Robin her flowers, and that's why I'm excited that she is collaborating with Charlie XCX on her upcoming Brat album. So I'm definitely, and look, she's been an influence to me too. Like I like that whole vibe, I like the whole music, and a lot of artists have been taking from her. Like when you listen to Charlie XCX, you listen to Troye Sivan, you listen to a lot of those artists. They have pretty much gone to the school of Robin. And plus, Robin, I believe, has like if you go to Bushwick, Brooklyn, they do like an annual Robin, I forget what it's called though, but they do like an annual Robin type situation where they play her music and that whole vibe. So look, Bushwick was always ahead of the curve when it comes to like really embracing that type of music and stuff. But anyway, so let's get into the show because I went on this whole rant about a whole bunch of other side stuff. We didn't even get to the topics yet. So let's talk about this mess with Anita Baker, who apparently we know, well, look, based off her attitude, we've always known that Anita could give two damns about how people feel about her. And you know what? If it starts to hurt her in her pocket, then so be it. But I've never understood like why people really invest in going to Anita Baker concert. It's the same thing I've said about Lauryn Hill. Like I don't understand people who will go to a Lauryn Hill concert and then bitch about her coming on late. You know what you're gonna get when you get with a Lauryn Hill. When people show you who they are, believe them the first time. Maya Angelou said that. I feel like people need to just take that as their mantra. When people show you who they are, believe them the first time. But me, it depends on my mood. I'll give you maybe another chance because I'm like, you know what? Maybe they was going through some shit, whatever. That's a one-time situation. But when you hear multitude of times that the person is going to do something that is the same repetitive behavior, then it's like, okay, now I see who you are. You're not getting no more chances from me. And Anita Baker is that girl. So it says, according to 11 Alive, an evening with Anita Baker was set to begin at 7 p.m. Child, first of all, there probably would have never been an evening. But anyway, let's continue. Let me stop with the side. An evening with Anita Baker was set to begin at 7 p.m. in State Farm Arena, but was canceled shortly beforehand. The reason why is still unknown. Concertgoers will be refunded for the cost of their tickets, officials said. It's unclear if the concert will be rescheduled. Now, one concertgoer posted on Twitter, almost said the other word, said, so Mom's Mother's Day present was tickets to the Anita Baker concert tonight, and after making us stand there for over 30 minutes after doors were supposed to open, they just canceled the concert outright. I feel bad for the arena staff, though, because people are not happy. After Baker's concert last night moved Tiffany Castillo to tears. She said she was looking forward to this year's concert as a Mother's Day gift for her mother-in-law. Castillo said she found out the concert was canceled when she had already paid for parking. She even spent extra money to get floor seats. Castillo says that the cancellation should have come earlier. It would have been definitely been, it would have definitely been better. Okay, well, that's the way they be writing, Chad. But that ain't me having an issue reading. I'm like reading people's writing. But anyway, it would have been better. Girl, you could have said it would have definitely been better to know prior to leaving the house that the concert would be canceled or if there was the possibility that it might be canceled. We would not have gone through the trouble of her traveling. Unfortunately, Atlanta United has a game going on tonight. We managed to grab last minute tickets, not front row, but behind the home bench. We had a great time. It wasn't a win, but those games are super fun. Another person posted on social media saying, Anita Baker's show in Atlanta just got canceled and the aunties out here not happy. It's me. I'm the aunties. As well, y'all should be. Y'all should be pissed. And they said Christina Johnson bought tickets to the concert for her and her mother on Mother's Day. She said her mother was a lifelong Anita Baker fan and bought tickets the day they went on sale back in March. Johnson said that she was one of the first fans in line, but she found out the concert was canceled when someone came outside State Farm Arena just before 6:40 p.m. and told her there wouldn't be a concert on Saturday night. It's not how I envisioned my Mother's Day gift going to my mom, Johnson said. You didn't want to walk away because surely it wasn't canceled. So it was shock at first and then disappointment. I was sad because this was supposed to be my mom's Mother's Day present. And you want to know something? This is why, child, quiet as it's kept. This is why y'all should have probably came to New York for that Mary J. Blige. Damn, what was the name of her situation called? Like she had something going on Mother's Day weekend at the Barclays Center, but I think she had a whole weekend planned out of things for the women. Strength of a Woman, I think it's called. So it was like an annual thing, and she said it's similar to like Lovers and Friends. She had 50 Cent. She had a whole bunch of other artists that came out and performed. It's kind of like her own little festival. And I'm like, that's perfect. At least Mary J. Blige shows up. Unlike Anita Baker, like Anita Baker is a legend in the business. So we're not going to take that away from her. I grew up listening to Anita Baker because my mother. Yeah, my mother. I was going to say my mother and my father, but they probably both did. Like growing up, back in the day when parents actually was out buying vinyl. Vinyl is sort of a vintage thing now that people tend to want to buy it, just like some collector's thing. But I grew up at a time, I'm a child of the 80s, so I grew up, with my parents buying vinyl. And Anita Baker was played around the house. So I'm not going to take away from her impact in the music business. But the way that she does not be showing up to shows, the way that she be performing and giving attitude, this overall diva behavior coming from her, and not diva in a good way, because there are divas, the word diva I feel like has been hijacked and turned into this negative. And Anita Baker just gives me like she just don't give a damn about performing or her fans or the people that spent a lot of money. And you may think that, oh, I'm just canceling how that hurts you. It's a trickle down effect. First of all, it's the people that spent a lot of money, because a lot of y'all be charging way too much money these days. And we've been talking about this on the show about so many people are going out, touring, doing shows, and people are at a point where they're picking and choosing who they want to go out and support and who they want to go and see live on stage. Like, tickets are not cheap these days. Like, we were talking about yesterday, Justin Timberlake charged $900 for that damn tour. And people are like, that's too much. So it's like, you got to pick, and like, people are really picking and choosing, which is why I entertained the idea. And I forget, I made someone who was one of the viewers was brought it up, was saying that maybe what they need to do is just like, some of their biggest artists, you need to start recording their tours and releasing it on a streaming service or releasing it on, um, on or streaming service or in theater, so that way fans can go and see these tours. Like an Olivia Rodrigo tour, I told you she sold out all 4 nights when she was in New York. I worked 3 out of 4 of them, and you don't realize how a lot of that affects not only the fans that come in and want to see these shows, but the staff that have to come in to set up the concession stands, the bartenders that are actually working to get y'all lit when y'all coming over there, because them drinks ain't cheap. And then you got the ushers that have to come and make sure that the bombs are what it is, and then making sure everybody gets to their seat or whatever the case is, helping the people out. Then you got the ticket takers who are downstairs who are letting the people in and checking the tickets. So it's like it's a whole machine that is working, and these people are coming in trying to get paid, and Anita pulling this shit. So I feel like the next people that go out and buy a Anita Baker ticket, and y'all get up on social media and start bitching and moaning about the fact that she didn't show up and how disappointed y'all was, I won't be the one to say, see, I told you so, and I don't want to lack empathy, but it's like, y'all pretty much know at this point what y'all gonna get when you see that old bald-headed heifer get up on, out there and give y'all what she gives y'all, which is a half-ass show, bitching and complaining when she do get up on stage, disrespect to the fans or whatever, because somebody filmed her. Remember when she got a whole attitude because people pull out their phone, don't be filming, bitch, get off my line with that. First of all, everybody get filmed, whether you want to deal with it or not. So what you gonna do, stop everybody from holding phones up in your face while you performing, giving you the best that I got when you giving us half-ass performances? So whatever, Anita, you are a legend and an icon, like I said before, but this behavior is stink, and you're not getting a pass because you're an older woman or because you've been around for a long time. For somebody who's been around for a long time, you should know better. So let me know what you guys think about this down below, because I'm about to go on scorched earth on that heifer. But let me hold them back a little bit. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this down below. I say stop giving this lady your money. And then when she end up going broke, then she'll learn to straighten the hell up. Okay, so it's a karma for Babyface. They just had to be patient. Now it's oh yeah, I forgot. And she was disrespectful to Babyface and shit too. When Babyface is an icon, a producer, songwriter, singer, like he's a legend. Well, no, I won't even say legend. He's an icon because he's been around for a long time and he's influenced a lot of the music industry and has produced a lot of huge hits. Tony Braxton, of course, Madonna, and many others. Yeah, I mean, well, quiet as it's kept. I don't want to be shady and say, at least look, at least Tony show up for her shows. She's currently in Vegas doing her residency, but at least Tony shows up to perform and give y'all a show, even though she has all her ailments with the lupus and all that other stuff. But yeah, I believe also, if I'm not mistaken, they said that a lot of the music from Tony's debut album was like inspired, or I think were original songs that were meant for Anita Baker. And then she kind of went in, and they have similar vocal styles. And so this is why I don't complain about Madonna or sue her. Anita Baker and Lauryn Hill are the ones look. Anita Baker being disrespectful, Lauryn Hill not showing up, Nicki Minaj showing up late to her shows and stuff, going on late to perform that Pink Friday 2 tour. If y'all not going to show, you can't just go after one person but then exclude everybody else. If you're going to go after Madonna and say and want to sue her because, oh well, she came on late and I have things to do tomorrow, it's like, okay, but what about these other people? But at least with Anita Baker, they getting a refund on the stuff, which in the end hurts the venues and hurts everybody else that they have to give their money back, because the whole point of the venues and stuff is they have to make money. But anyway, child, let's move on and let's talk about this lady, Hennifer, who can't seem to stay out the damn news. So now I was so upset because I was like, damn, I found out this article came across my desk literally after I wrapped up shooting. Well, it kind of was, I was shooting the show, right? But it's live streaming. But, after I was doing the show yesterday and stuff, I was like looking for stuff to talk about. I was like, okay, let's see what's it doing. And I'm so mad that I just came across this Jennifer Lopez story because it would have worked perfectly with my Justin Timberlake story. The whole thing about him struggling to sell tickets for his tour, what they've been saying, which is weird because I did look at video and I forgot to mention this. I was looking at video online. It looked full to me. Like, or maybe it was just the angles of the cameras or whatever. They wasn't capturing the whole arena. But Justin Timberlake's, arena tours look pretty much packed. But I'm sure there's patches that are empty, or what normally happens when you do a lot of these arena type shows. A lot of the spots that are not selling, they'll drop the price down significantly at the last minute, which is why I always tell people wait until they literally the day of or the day before, or maybe a few days before. I would say mostly 24 hours or 48 hours before or the day of, and go on, one of the I don't necessarily say Ticketmaster, you could try all the other ones, or you could actually go to the box office and be like, look up and see how much the tickets and stuff are. And a lot of times they'll drop down those prices because they need to fill up those seats. Or you get a lot of times where they go on these radio stations, will give away free tickets because they need to fill up those arenas. So I'm sure that's what happens a lot on the day of when people are filming, in the arenas and stuff. So we don't necessarily know for sure, but when you look up online and you see all them blue seats, which means they're available, that's pretty much telling the sales leading up to. Don't wait until the day of and be like, oh yeah, it's full in here. But anyway, so this story came out that Jennifer Lopez apparently was at the center of crisis talks over her upcoming tour because she's been struggling to sell tickets and all this other stuff that's going on with the tour, and the album flopped. People was side-eyeing that documentary and the video, the visual album, whatever the hell it's called, because we still confused. We don't know what to call it. um and they said that ticket sales were so bad that organizers were keen to pull the plug over poor ticket sales to stave off embarrassment. But the singer and her manager refused. This is according to insiders. And the Daily Mail is reporting this, by the way. So, J-Lo, if you getting mad at somebody, get mad at them because they're reporting it. Now, Lopez, 54, is hitting the road next month with a string of dates across North America in support of her ninth studio album, This Is Me, ... now. But with only a matter of weeks to go, she is still facing a worrying lack of sales, with blocks of seating still available at multiple venues, according to official seat maps on Ticketmaster and resale sites scalping tickets for as little as $10. Bitch. And here y'all are out here in these good old streets getting mad at Megan Thee Stallion for charging people $24. But I'm like, at least her shit is sold out. I don't know why y'all get mad, but look, if tickets not pop up as 10. Look, what is worse? Jennifer Lopez selling $10 tickets, or Erica James Vegas residency having $7 tickets? But anyway, let's move on. I don't know why I'm sorry, Erica, but you had to get that straight. So it says now multiple insiders have claimed Live Nation, a promoter behind the tour, recently suggested canceling all 30 dates, but no one, including her including her long-term manager Benny Medina. I think who else is Benny representing? Didn't she fire him at one point and then she rehired him back? I guess nobody else wanted to deal with her. Because to me, she's like excuse me. I guess she's what they call those she's just, I guess, a nightmare to work with, or she's a chaos demon. That's what I was looking for. She's a chaos demon. Now, it said a few weeks ago, Live Nation met with J-Lo's manager, Benny Medina, to suggest canceling J-Lo's tour. And because him and J-Lo are so adamant that the show must go on, it's going on. This is what the insider said. Now, Medina urged Lopez to create her latest album, This Is Me Now, which centers around the rekindling of her relationship with Ben Affleck 20 years after the two separated. Now, according to Variety, Medina, who launched J-Lo's career in 1999, believed that her story, well, look, They were saying that I did not know that Benny Medina has something to do with her telling this story. I'm like, first of all, I would have fired his ass for even suggesting. I'm like, out of all the things you want me to talk about, you want me to sit up in here and exploit my relationship with Ben Affleck when Ben Affleck has said time and time again that he is not interested in, being all up in the spotlight. He doesn't like attention. He doesn't like all this other stuff. And I feel like with Jennifer Lopez, because Rob Shooter, her former publicist, came on and was like, nobody cares about your relationship with Ben Affleck. Like, if you did 1 or 2 songs talking about your relationship, that's great, but not a whole album. It's like, but look, why am I all of a sudden trying to curb my mouth with cursing today, right? I curse all the damn time. But it's like nobody cared about a full-fledged album from her talking about her love for Ben Affleck. When a lot of times we were seeing the pictures of him every time y'all together, he looks miserable. He really looks like he'd rather have all of his teeth pulled out without anesthesia than having his whole relationship exploited for the press and the masses. That's what broke y'all up the first time, because he didn't like all that attention. And paparazzi back in the day when they were together 20 years ago was worse, way worse, which is why they're trying to say now that J-Lo and Ben are trying to move to New York because the paparazzi is not as bad as it is in LA, which to a point it's true. In New York, we don't really care about celebrities and stuff in that way. If we see you, we'll they'll get a picture, get an autograph, whatever. But a lot of us have places to go, things to see, and people to do. So we're not up in here trying to all of a sudden follow J-Lo around. Like, oh my God, where's she going? Let's get out. Like, a lot of us don't give a fuck. We got stuff to do. We on a mission. But if we see you, we see you. Or, like a lot like my friend Seth does, when he walk past celebrities, he'll put it on social media. Just walk past Sarah Jessica Parker. Just walk past Sandra Bernhard or whoever. And I'm like, that's good. Or the other day, he said, walk past Jodie Foster. I'm like, you walking past a lot of celebrity, Chad. But anyway, so yeah, I just had to throw up the picture with the whole tour dates and all the other stuff up here. And they said that the lack of appetite for her tour could be due to her being overexposed. Here's the question. Has J-Lo really been overexposed, though? I don't feel like she really was overexposed. I mean, yeah, she had the movie The Mother, and then she disappeared. And then, or maybe she was overexposed because of the whole relationship. Like, we were seeing a lot of it happening on social media and stuff. But I wasn't really following her relationship with him like that on social media because I could care less about J-Lo and Ben, except when these stories come out, I got to talk about it. But then leading up to the album and all this other stuff, and recently she was on, I think she did Kelly and Mark. She did Good Morning America because she's got this new movie coming out called Atlas on Netflix, which they haven't really been promoting it, but I have seen posters in the New York subways. So they've kind of been putting a little money behind it. Because that's been one of my general complaints about Netflix, that they're horrible at promoting their stuff. But I have seen the posters, and I have seen Jennifer Lopez jumping around and all this other stuff. They said she's overexposed and has put herself out there way too much. First, it was her marriage, then her never ending honeymoon, followed by a movie, then an album release. Then she felt the need to tell her and Ben's love story in a documentary that she funded called The Late Greatest Love Story Never Told. And the funny thing was, the streamers all turned up against it. They weren't interested. And she was like, well, they're not interested, so I'm going to put up my own money, which is a huge risk. But with the studios all saying no and all the streaming services saying no, there had to be a reason. Like, nobody gives a fuck about your relationship with him. I mean, I guess also what may have, I think people liked about Jennifer Lopez is that she was kind of those divas like Beyonce, or not in the talent department, but Beyonce, Mariah Carey, and a whole bunch of others. Like their whole persona is shrouded in mystery, like this whole diva persona or whatever. So people really weren't aware of J-Lo's personality. And from what I was reading, because I was reading an article, they said that they feel like this stemmed from the first documentary she did when she was Halftime. That one was on Netflix when she got with, she was showing behind the scenes of her working on Hustlers and her bitching and moaning about her not getting an Oscar nomination. And then the whole thing with her and Shakira, where they felt like her attitude towards her having to share a stage with someone was sort of like real stink. And it turned a lot of people off. But yeah, I'm looking at this day. They said from the Dallas, Texas one on July 6th, tickets are $10, Chad. But her former publicist, Rob Shooter, uttered similar sentiments during an interview with the New York Post, claiming her mistake was thinking people still care about her love story with him, with Affleck. in case you know who the him was, but I think we all know who the him is. They said Jennifer's always been a marketing and PR genius, but her biggest miscalculation here is that she thinks the world's still interested in Ben and Jen's love story. But no one cares about Bennifer anymore. The world has moved on. A second source told Daily Mail that Live Nation held talks with Medina to prevent the embarrassment of Lopez performing to an arena full of empty seats, saying Live Nation is very concerned about the lack of tickets sold and doesn't want Jen to feel embarrassed when she goes out there and sees empty patches in the stadium she's going to perform at. But Jen, of course she does, has too much pride to cancel it, so it'll currently be what it will be. They can't convince her to change course. A third source also confirmed meetings took place, telling DailyMail.com there were discussions regarding multiple options pertaining to her tour, but ultimately it was agreed on by everyone involved. Then they said Live Nation Talent and Management that the tour would remain on course. Cancellations were announced, which were guided by Live Nation, and several additional dates were added. Jennifer is looking forward to the tour, starting and seeing her fans at the shows. And just to let you guys know, Daily Mail has contacted reps for Lopez, Live Nation, and Medina for comment, but of course they haven't come back and said anything. And it also was feeling like she took off a little too long. And then also, they canceled Cleveland, Nashville, Raleigh, North Carolina, Atlanta, Tampa, New Orleans, and Houston between August 20th and the 31st amid low sales. And, they did add additional dates from Miami, Toronto, and New York. But I heard like the second show was still struggling. But, like last time, I was thinking I want to show y'all the tab of the seats. So we have here, this is the BOK Center, or is it Bach? Well, it's one of the arenas in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And they said not even 50% of the tickets appear to have been sold. So all the blue is what's available. Bitch, I would be embarrassed. I really would. I mean, I don't want to laugh, but I'm just saying. That's fucking crazy. Let's move on down and let's look at the other seats. Now, this is New York that I showed y'all before. Right here, this is New York. And it says that the numbers are poor for the second night on August 17th. So maybe what she should have did, and that's also the closing night of the tour. So all the blue that's up in here is what hasn't been sold. And that is embarrassing. So it could be that, for the arena, you probably should just did one night of each thing. And then this is the third picture that we have here. This is Orlando, Florida on June 26th via Ticketmaster. So they said swabs of resale tickets are also on offer for the opening night in Orlando, Florida. So the question remains, what went wrong with this tour? Why is it that people aren't relating to Jennifer Lopez? Why is this tour not resonating with people? I've said many a times that I don't feel like she is invested just as much into, her fan base the way, because they did say at one point she was reaching out, or she was looking to the Madonna Celebration Tour, the Eras Tour, which Taylor Swift has restarted, but just overseas, and she's changed up the show. They showed that Travis Kelce was there dancing alongside Bradley Cooper and his girlfriend Gigi Hadid, who all have mansions in Pennsylvania. And another thing, Zayn Malik also has a mansion in Pennsylvania. So they all live around each other. So they showed that. I saw that online earlier. They feel like she didn't really invest in her fan base the way that Beyonce and them have. So they feel like that they're more or less casual fans, that J-Lo doesn't have like stands, like in the vein of like a Rihanna Navy, a Beehive, a Barb. Like you have the J lovers, but they're just like, y'all just feel random to me. Like y'all not really hardcore. Like I know now I'll say this. Excuse me. I do know some J-Lo fans that absolutely, the people that love J-Lo. David, Lindsay Aguilera, who, drag queen friend of the show and has been a part of the show. And we did Drinks and Drag at one point. Loves Jennifer Lopez. I have fans that, people that follow me on Facebook that are Jennifer Lopez fans. There are people who feel that J-Lo can do no wrong. And those are the hardcore fans, but I don't feel like there's enough of y'all. It's not like in the way that y'all are not as mobile, or as y'all don't motivate the team and the fan base the way that the Barbs, the Beehive, the Rihanna Navy, the Swifties, the way they move. Beyonce, I mean, I feel like, why am I thinking about Beyonce so much? But I think it's because, she was looking to a lot of those artists to try to see how she could do her show. And yeah, you came up with the greatest hits part, but I don't feel like that's more than what those tours were about, the Eras tours and the Celebration tour. Madonna was transparent and open and more honest with her fans while she was doing this tour. The way that the Celebration tour was put together, she would have moments where she would stand there on the stage with her, with her beer, and would talk about personal things that was going on in her life, and she would open up to the audience. I don't feel like Jennifer is doing that. Jennifer is trying to give this perception that I'm real and something. You can't just say I'm real but you being real fake. Because I feel like the fan base and people now, they want they want to feel like they can relate to you. They want to feel that you're being real and honest and open, and they that's the kind of vibe that people are going for now. They want authenticity. That was the word I was looking for. So they're searching for the word. They want authenticity, and we don't get authenticity from her. Also, I don't understand why Jennifer Lopez, being Puerto Rican, she has not capitalized on the reggaeton movement. Why hasn't she kind of pushed more into that sound? I feel like this is a missed opportunity that people have not truly capitalized. Because don't tell me you try to be one of them Spanish girls that are trying to be white. Like, don't give me that you trying to do that, because there's a lot of y'all that run up out here in these streets that's like that want to disregard your Afro-Latino roots when it's until it, only when it's convenient. Excuse me. But she should have been capitalizing on our whole sound. You should have been in the studio working with Looney Tunes or, all the other producers out there. You should have had you should have been doing collabs with Ozuna, Manuel Turizo, Bad Bunny, so many others, Maluma. You should have been incorporating a lot of that whole sound. I mean, I know you've done stuff with Wisin and Yandel, you've done stuff with a lot of other Latin artists, but she should have been capitalizing on excuse me, she should have been capitalizing on that whole sound. Yeah, we know your Spanish is not the best, but does it really matter? Like, you should be, well, I guess it does to a lot of people who feel like you're not the best speaker of the language, so they have clowned her over that. But that's how some people feel, what they feel in the situation. And so I was looking at something. Let me see if I could. Oh wait, hold on. There was because I was like, what should she do to rebrand or whatever the case was? There was this article that I read that was also from the Daily Mail. So there's a brand expert by the name of Haley Knight who said there is one main reason why Jennifer Lopez has rebranded her tour, and that's to get people talking about it. Resales, I mean, they said sales are low, and there hasn't been a great deal of engagement or buzz around it. So rebranding it has gotten everyone talking about it again. However, rebranding it to the new name of This Is Me Live, the greatest hits, has the potential to bring the same issues. Firstly, she diminishes the confidence she had in her same titled new albums and focuses on her hits. Secondly, unlike the likes of Taylor Swift, Madonna, Britney Spears, and Beyonce, Lopez doesn't have a devoted fan base. She has more casual fans of her music, or may not choose to go, and who may or may not choose to go see her live or listen to her new album. So there's really isn't a buzz about it. Also, it isn't a world tour, it's just North America, and this can be incredibly detrimental on ticket sales when the fan base isn't necessarily large. For example, she's isolating her Spanish and Latin America fans. Now, let's pause there, because first of all, that was something I was literally thinking about. I was like, wait a minute. So why is it that she's not touring um, outside of the United States? Why is it that she's only doing North America? Like, can she not sell out um other parts of the world? Like, I would think that she would be able to, especially since, you being Puerto Rican, like I said, why have you not capitalized on being Puerto Rican? I mean, everybody else do it. Shit, I would have taken advantage of the situation and just been like, you know what, we're gonna go and let's do Mexico City, let's do Puerto Rico, let's do all these other spots. I don't know why she didn't think about doing all of that. Shell, I was trying to find another picture, but all it is videos. But anyway, okay, so let's continue. So then let's continue. And it says, Jennifer also doesn't really sit in the generation of stans, aka devoted fans, and appeals more to the older generation who aren't consuming content on social media, like TikTok. So her marketing channels are limited and outdated, and her Amazon Prime film series deemed to be more of a vanity project than for her fans, like Taylor Swift's The Eras Tour documentary and Beyonce's Renaissance movie. And over the past few years, her focus has shifted to movies, which she is becoming more known for with the newer generations. And that's actually true. That I feel like she has focused more on her acting career than her music when she should have been, you know, putting a lot of energy into the music stuff. Like to me, if I'm going to do a movie, I'm going to do a movie one or two, do one or two films a year. But then also what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the fans you know if I'm going to do music, that is going to be what I'm just going to solely concentrate on. I'm not going to give y'all anything else. I'm going to solely concentrate on the movie, and you know that's that. But she wasn't doing that. So when you do that, I feel like people go based off of, what, you get what you put out there, and that's basically what you're getting back. You don't give people 110%, they're not going to give you that back in return. So if you were going to do a documentary, you should have went more in the vein of like what Taylor Swift did with her 3 Hour Eras tour, or Beyonce did with the Renaissance tour, and hopefully what Madonna will be doing with the Celebration tour. So the younger kids don't even know you, and she hasn't really grown with the younger generation. When you look at Madonna, Madonna is someone who, a lot of younger kids have discovered her. You see a lot of YouTube videos. If you go online, a lot of younger YouTubers are doing listening parties and discovering Madonna's music and dissecting her albums and all this stuff. And you see all that breaking down. And I saw on the was it the LV the Madonna Louise Veronica Ciccone podcast. I always forget the acronyms, but is whenever you watch that podcast, there was a kid that was actually on it that went to the Mexico City show, I believe, and he was like, that was his first show. That was the first time he ever got to see Madonna in concert, so that was his favorite concert because that was his first experience. So Madonna's hitting all ages. She hits the people that are her age, she hits the people that's my age, and she's hitting the kids that's in their 20s and in their early 30s and stuff, or the 30s and their 40s. So Madonna's hitting kids of all ages, and a lot of the younger kids are discovering her music. And I feel like, yes, Jennifer Lopez has not grown with her audience. And that's why a lot of these kids don't, in the words of Mariah Carey, they don't know her. So they said overall, her focus needs to remain on the music and appealing to a new, more engaged audience. She has been criticized for being out of touch, which she is, and I've been saying that for the longest. And and I'm so glad there is an actual brand person, because I understand branding. I mean, you have to understand branding if you're going to be doing, especially what I'm doing here. Like, you have to understand how to brand yourself. That's the number one thing. And I'm glad there's an actual brand person that's saying what I've been saying for the longest. But let's continue. Is that she has been criticized for being out of touch, and it has long been known that she is a diva. And this doesn't go down well with audiences nowadays. People are looking for strong role models and who are relatable, and she doesn't come across as this. And there are actual videos on TikTok of women speaking about how unrelatable she is. I think rather than continue using her Jenny from the Block persona, which comes across as outdated and ill-advised, she needs to be more honest with her audiences and show them the real her and her real life. Artists who have devoted fan bases do this very well, whether they share their life through their music or directly with their audience. And what she needs to do is hire younger people to be around her and show her how to do the whole social media. Even if you're not social media savvy, hire someone who understands it. Like, a lot of these younger kids now, they were pretty much raised in the world of social media. They grew up in the Matrix. So, hire one of them to help you out and show you how you could brand yourself. Maybe she also need to get rid of Benny Medina, but then again, it might be hard to find somebody because she might be hard to work around. Oh, also, I forgot to mention this, Chad. They also feel like it's utterly disrespectful that they're like, why do you have a liquor brand when A, you don't drink, and B, you married to an alcoholic? So there was people that was clowning her about that too. So they feel like here this lady go where she's, out of touch. You're out of touch. I'm out of time. You're around my head when you come around. Remember that song? So it said the brand to boost ticket sales and appeal won't work unless she has a strong marketing strategy, which focuses on reaching out to and engages with existing fans, as well as focus on new platforms and targeting new audiences. And I think that's all they said about that. And look, I couldn't have said it better myself, child. Like I've been saying that for the longest. And until she figures out what's going on, and look, I was going to say, you might not have enough time because the tour is right around the corner. So I don't know. Like those are the things they gave her the advice. She either does or she doesn't. But according to like how J-Lo's been acting as of late, I feel like she doesn't care. She's just gonna do what she's gonna do, the way she's gonna do it. She's gonna be stubborn. She's gonna continue to push through. And if that's what you want to do, and you want to, if you want to perform in front of a half, empty arena, then that's what you're gonna do, sis. If you're not willing to figure out how to rebrand yourself, and any little thing that she does now, I have noticed that people on this, they've got her under a microscope. Excuse me, like I told you yesterday in passing, she was coming out of a hotel in Paris because she's been hanging out with with Emmy. I think they went to the Louvre in Paris, and J Lo was coming out of the hotel and she was signing autographs. She had the stinkest face. I'm like her face, I'm like, girl, we ain't never seen you looking at this. Either you hungry from that Ozempic, or you just going through a lot and you just got the one and only attitude right now. So, any little thing that she does, she's going to be scrutinized. So she's really got to work on rehabilitating that image because, the social media people are going to continue to clown her. And look, damn, I forgot to bring up that whole thing when I looked on J-Lo. I'm like, when they was talking about J-Lo and the This Is Me Now thing, they was going in on her in the comments. And I'm like, ooh, y'all are just cold. Hold on. And disgusting. Let me try to find it. Cause child, I'm like, y'all just be brutal in the comments when it comes to talking about celebrities or whenever they post something on social media. Because when she posted her ticket dates, someone said, came here for the comments. Another person said, this is crap now. And another person put, you are canceled, sweetie. Another person asked, will Ashanti be there to perform? So it's like they're going in and throwing shade. I'm like, damn, y'all ain't got nothing else better to do, regardless of how you feel about Jennifer Lopez. Like me personally, I'm not going on nobody's social media and just write a bunch of mean-spirited shit on their page. Like, what satisfaction does that give me? What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to talk about it on this show because I have a platform to do that. Or if you say something remotely ignorant, I'm going to clown your ass in the comments. That's what I usually do. I usually clap back that way on social media. If people say real nasty shit on social media about people and stuff, that's what I usually do. Where I be seeing people on here with their bigoted comments and stuff. But anyway, I feel like I've talked about this for long, but I had to break all that stuff down in order for y'all to know like what the people have been saying and this whole crisis situation. Look, I already said at this point, J-Lo, you are a legacy actor. And I feel like if you're gonna rebrand yourself, you really need to get into more get more in touch with your Latin roots. That was what we wanted. I wanted dance music from J-Lo. Because yes, she don't have the most spectacular voice, but who cares? I love a good dance track. And I love, seeing, dancing, singing, all the other stuff, like all the razzle dazzle. That's what she is. She's a showgirl. So she should have leaned more into that and given us a dance record. People didn't want no mid-tempo R&B track because, girl, the vocals ain't there. So why are you trying to go into a space that vocally you're handicapped at? So I would have just stuck to the rivers and the lakes that I was used to, in the words of TLC, and stuck with the dance music and and then incorporated Latin music and stuff in that. That would have worked. That's your wheelhouse. That's what people want to see, and that's what people would have wanted. But some of y'all out here be living in a little bubble. You're stubborn as hell. You're vain, and all this other stuff, and your egos, put y'all in this place where y'all don't want to hear nothing, and then the reality sets in, and y'all still be trying to push against the reality. Justin Timberlake and so many other y'all. And then you wonder why your career is where it is, because you're not willing to change. You're not willing to evolve. You're not willing to go out and reach out and pull a new audience. You just thought you was going to show up somewhere and everybody and the place is going to be packed. That's not how it works. You really got to work for your supper these days. And a lot of this younger generation, they're not willing to, ain't no half stepping, in the words of one of them, Big Daddy Kane. Ain't no half stepping. You got to step your pussy up and you got to make it work the way it needs to work. Otherwise, like I said, you're gonna be performing at half-ass, arenas. So Child, after this, I think what J-Lo need to do is, I think she just need to stick to, she may need to do another residency if she really want to get people to come in and let have. So anyway, yeah, let me know what you guys think of this story down below. I'm definitely curious to what you guys have to say on this here topic. So let me know down below. Well, child, I know a lot of people got a lot to say because we got comments. So we got comments, child. Oh yeah. Shout out to Roger Corman. He passed away over the weekend. And I'll tell you, I love Roger Corman. Like I loved a lot of his films. They were a bit on the cheap, cheesy side, and he always made like bad ripoffs of pre-existing IP. But that's what we loved him for. I love that, he make these crazy movies on a budget. Like Death. What is it? Oh my God, why am I thinking Death Proof 2000? Oh my God, what's the name of the damn movie? Death Race. That's what it's called. Why am I thinking Death Proof? Oh, because it has to do with cars. Because it's like Death Race. I remember they remade it down, decades later with um Jason Statham, but I love the original one with David Carradine. And he's come out with so many other movies over the years. So yeah, I'm a Roger Corman fan. That's unfortunate. Yeah, he did, but he was old. He was like in his 90s. And then they said one of the actors that appeared in a lot of Roger Corman movies, forgot his name because I saw it was trending on Twitter. He passed away too. So yeah, I'm glad there's a big Roger Corman marathon. I hope that oh, you said it's on AMC and the Shudder feed. So is it on Shudder too? Because I'll go over to Shudder and I'll be watching some I'll watch some Roger Corman stuff, but also they have a lot of Roger Corman stuff on Tubi, which I'm a fan of. Y'all know I love me some Tubi because if it's free, it's for me. So I love me some Tubi. But I hate the ads and stuff. But I guess it's the price you pay for some free shit, right? So I love Roger Corman stuff. I'll definitely check out some of the stuff, whenever I have some time. But yeah, definitely look into that. But yeah, shout out to Roger Corman who passed away over the weekend. He's a Henny from the Coop. Overexposure of weak vocals was finally caught up. Well, they was reading her in the comments. Somebody, is Ashanti gonna be the no? Ashanti busy being pregnant and making sure that this baby comes out healthy. So that's what she doing. She ain't got time to lend her vocals. Yep, that's what I'm saying. Like, because I don't read the comments until after I finish doing the whole show because I don't want to get distracted. But yep, she was criticized for shade insecure, and I think that was the beginning of people coming at her. But now that because of this whole documentary and everything that came out, it's given people license to really go in. But over the years, people have always said that Jennifer Lopez was insufferable. She was nasty and rude, so nasty and so rude. And shout out to Nene Leakes. She was going through those things, and now because it's TikTok and social media and stuff, now people feel like, oh, I can come out and say, I feel comfortable to say more stuff because it's become this downward spiral, this snowball effect. I wonder if Brittany knows her because there's a clip of Cohen asking would she rather see MC or Brittany in Vegas. She said Brittany because she dances. I must have missed that one. And it said Madonna canceled Tulsa as second date in Phoenix because they weren't selling. Madonna came to Tulsa once in 2016 and her landing at 11 p.m. to hit the stage hurt her. Same with Nashville, once was enough. Well, look, Madonna is like, whatever. Okay, so my shit got canceled. I mean, low ticket sales. Okay, cancel it. But at least I got all these other shows to look forward to. And I don't think Madonna cares. Not saying that she don't care because I'm sure it hurts her, but I'm sure she doesn't care that it's like, okay, so I canceled this one place, but guess what? I got all these other shows that sold out. I'll focus on that. So I guess in the words of Die Another Day, she's had to learn to exercise her ego. And that's what she did. But I don't think J-Lo was dead yet. But look, Madonna was doing that long before J-Lo because she started doing the whole Kabbalah and yoga and really centering herself in her 40s. J-Lo was in her mid-50s and still acting like a biatch. But anyway, oh, hey, Sailor Mermaid, how you doing? Madonna told her story through her career with her mini-me. Well, there was that, and then, she structured this tour as a autobiography of sorts, which is, I feel like, is going to shape the way, and I've said this before you sent me that article, that I feel like Madonna has set a new way for legacy acts to present themselves on tour because of the way she did it. It's like you use your music and use the costumes and everything to sort of set a precedence and tell your story. But she's always been a storyteller in regards of how she does her tour. She's never done the standard tour of like, oh, well, I'm just going to get up there and sing all the hits. It's like, no, I'm going to use the songs as a way to tell a story in these 3 acts for you to come and watch. I said Rita Moreno has been saying there's more Puerto Ricans than okay. And I think that's always been the overall issue is the fact, but is that that's Hollywood's fault. Let's put it all on the table. That's their fault because Hollywood has put it out there that it's just like, well, one person should be a representation of the entire community. And they look at it, oh, J-Lo's a good enough representation because, you know, a lot of you ignorant motherfuckers out there think all Latinos are fucking Mexican. When it's like, no, they're not. There's Mexicans, there's El Salvadorians, there's Chileans, there's Venezuelans, there are the Mexicans, there are Puerto Ricans, there are Dominicans, there's so many other representations of the community that we should be putting out there. Like we have John Leguizamo, who's Colombian. We have Salma Hayek, who's Mexican. We have Zoe Saldana, who is, I believe, part Dominican, or she is Dominican. There's Michelle Rodriguez, who is Puerto Rican and Dominican. We have, you know, so many other actors out here who should be a representation. We have Oscar Isaac. Where's he from? I forget where he's from, but he's fine too. And then we have Pedro Pascal, who I believe is from Chile. So we have so many different representations that we should show of the community and not just be like, oh, well, there's that one. Let them carry the torch. No. Or you get that asshole George Lopez who feels like because he walked through the door, he want to close the shit behind him. We should use his head as like a door stopper. It's big enough. Robert says, I feel what's hurting J-Lo is there's more Spanish-speaking acts and other stuff, so that's also hurting. Well, look, it's never too late to learn Spanish. Like, she could take a couple of classes. So, if she really wanted to take it seriously as like an actor, she studied, so she should study Spanish. You should take time out of your day, at least a good 2 hours, learn some Spanish, so that way she's showing that she, you know, if you can remember lines for a movie or whatever project you do or your tours, she could take the time to learn Spanish. But that is true. It's like you have a lot of Latin artists who didn't have to do what she and so many others did at the time. Her ex-husband Mark Anthony, Enrique Iglesias, Ricky Martin, even Shakira who came in speaking, not knowing a lick of English, had to learn English in order for her to transition into the Anglo market, because that's what we'll call it. That's what they call it. That's what we're going to call it, the Anglo market. So, but then you have this new generation, like the Bad Bunnies, the Karol G's, the Anuels, and so many other artists who did not have to compromise their Latin roots in order to have success in America, because America is now becoming more dominant from the Latin community. There are more Latin people that live in America that are becoming more of the dominant nationality, outmaneuvering, you know, other races. So that's why they're becoming bigger here. And then you don't have to compromise, you know, oh, I have to learn English in order to be accepted into the market. Now reggaeton is this huge global entity, especially in the United States, which has forced a lot of the radio stations and everybody else, and even the Grammys, to take notice. They disrespectful ass putting up whatever that shit they said when Bad Bunny got up there and performed. I forgot what it was, but it was like the ultimate disrespect. I've seen more people in SA say J-Lo should do more acting. Well, yeah, that's what a lot of people says is that, well, you know what, if the music thing is not working out and it seems like she's not willing to take the time and energy to grow her audience, she was able to she didn't have to really put into much work with the audience. Because look, at one point, y'all gotta remember, J-Lo wasn't really touring in the beginning of her career. She would do a couple of one-off specials or whatever that would end up on a DVD that you could buy, that she would do the songs or whatever, but she was never like a touring act. She didn't really start touring until her 50th birthday, when she did the residency, and then she did the It's My Party tour, where she would travel around to different places, even overseas, and she would do shows. So that was like when she was really getting into it, but that was like, she probably felt she didn't really need to do the whole touring thing because she relied on MTV and all this other stuff in order to sell her things, and she was more focused on the acting. But if you're not focusing on the music, why would the people come out and see you? Where's what I've said many a times, Beyonce, Madonna, Taylor Swift, Britney, or so many of the other girls, they put a lot more, Rihanna, they put more into their music and building that that loyal fan base, where Jennifer Lopez really didn't. And plus, it hurt her like Justin Timberlake when you take long periods to release music. She was releasing singles every now and again, but she really didn't release an album. Like, how long ago did AKA come out? Hold on a second. Let's look that up. That album came out 10 years ago, 2014. So June 13th, 2014. And that was on Capitol Records. Same label. She was on the same label as Katy Perry. So she didn't really put a lot of blood, sweat, and time into it. So when you take 10 years to release a record and you just release the singles every now and again, what do you expect? This I agree with. She's a workaholic and just get anything she can get her hands on or it's offered to her. She doesn't have a unique essence about her. She isn't a genuine good person. And I think also what was hurting her too is the fact that, yeah, she's a jack of all trades, master of none. So it's like when you putting out a movie, then 2 weeks later you put out an album, and then or you're releasing music, or she's hopscotching on so many other things, but there's no full concentration on that thing. Like you can do a multitude of things, but if I'm releasing a movie, my primary focus is on promoting that movie or shooting that movie. If I'm releasing music, my primary focus is on getting out there, promoting that album, going on other people's shows and performing those songs, being on SNL or whatever talk show circuit I'm doing, and I'm focusing on promoting that album and doing a mini tour, whatever the case is, then setting up for the regular tour. So my whole year is devoted to that album. Or 6 months, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to call it. After that, then I'll give my full divided attention to the other stuff. If I want to do endorsement deals, I'm going to focus on endorsing them deals. That's what you have to do. You can do a multitude of things, but you need to concentrate. When it's time to concentrate and promote, you need to promote that. She don't take enough time to focus on the thing that she's doing. It's always about go, 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 go. Like, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do I don't remember. How do you have time for your man? How do you have time for your kids? How do you have time to sleep? You're just like a workhorse, or, a workhorse. It says now it's not to say it's bad, but she has a work ethic. And there's nothing wrong with working hard and having a work ethic. But when the shit ain't hitting, then what do? That's good because she has nothing else. Wait, but she has nothing else beyond that because she refuses to reinvent herself. Her stubbornness and fixation is what's keeping her career stale. Absolutely. It's like, yeah, she's not reinventing her. And I think that's another word that we haven't focused enough on. But I guess when I bring up Madonna and Taylor Swift and so many other people, that and Beyonce, that's the main thing. Is you have to be able to reinvent yourself. And you're not reinventing yourself. You're giving people the same thing. They know what to expect. Child, that's why I be saying about Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson hasn't really reinvented herself. She giving y'all the same show, the same setup, the same choreography. She changed them costumes, but she giving y'all the same thing. Also, TikTok isn't afraid to block celebs. There's a new trend for yep, and I remember my friend Jovan Aviance pretty much posted a list of all the people. I said, well, goddamn. Well, first of all, I cannot block anybody. I love that y'all are blocking it, and I'm finding other ways of getting the information out there about Palestine and all some. I've been doing my due diligence. If you've been following me on social media and reposting things and having these conversations and really putting it out there about the whole Israel Hamas situation and Genocide Joe's complicitness in it. But what I can't block because for context and stuff with the show, I need to know what's going on with these celebrities. So if y'all go out and y'all block, y'all can do that. But me, I need to keep things open so that way I'll be keeping my eye on these celebrities and what they doing and using photos, whatever the case is, for context of the topics. So that's why I haven't done the whole block party situation. So I definitely get, everybody going out here blocking or canceling or being like, I'm not going to support your stuff. One friend said that just go, a new thing that they're doing also is going on their websites to their web stores, ordering a bunch of stuff and then leaving before you hit purchase. Said, what is that supposed to do? So you ring up a whole bunch of stuff, put it in the cart, but then you don't buy it. Does that really hurt them in any way? Like, I don't know. I mean, look, sooner or later, I'm going to have to start because, with me monetizing the channel and the channel growing, and like I was telling you earlier, I'm one subscriber shy of 600. I know some people be like, that's it, or whatever. Look, I said it earlier. Every subscriber counts to me, and me actually taking the time and the energy and the effort to really put into growing this channel. I don't care if it's 6 people watching. I don't care if it's 600 people watching. I don't care if it's 600,000 people watching. every person that sits and watches and supports the show, I genuinely appreciate y'all and that sort of thing. I don't take, the viewers, the followers, whatever for granted. I really don't. So I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate everybody. So I don't care what people say. And I've had people try to clown me over, oh, well, if you want to grow this amount, you need to, motherfucker, first of all, with your three, or you, first of all, you ain't got no photo for me to see who you are. And the three that you got following you cannot tell me how to grow my page. So that's the ultimate shit for me. People who don't even have followers or videos or whatever trying to tell me how to do my brand. Like, fuck out of here. What the hell was I getting to? Oh, this. So, I show my support in different ways. Child, I forgot to tell y'all. Remember yesterday when I told y'all Latrice Royale tried to come for me because my friend Jovan tagged her? She sent me some stuff and messaged me, but then deleted the message. I really wish I would have known what it was, because I would share it with y'all on it. I'm like, well, damn, a hit dog will holler, because they said that she, and speaking of blocking and canceling people, they said that she went, really, girl, when there were queens and people from ACT UP that were protesting at the GLAAD Media Awards in there. You heard Ross Matthews high as oh honey, how he be sound like a big old sissy. And then they said that allegedly Latrice said, really, girl, like real stink ass or whatever, like this is not the time or the place to do it. So when the fuck is it? Because my thing with this is, we as a marginalized community have been trying to fight for equality, but if it has to come at the price of ignoring being complicit and GLAAD being a part of organizations or getting funds from organizations that are funding bombs to be sent over to places like Gaza, and now over in, what is it, Egypt is the next one they're going after, where they killing innocent people, including women and children, then I don't want to be a part of it. I'm not being a part of these organizations. And like I said to my friend Lady Bunny, who I saw the video posted, and she said, oh, child, I got stories to tell you. And definitely I'm going to pick her brain. Because I said GLAAD has been a hollow shell of itself for decades, which is why I do not give the Human Rights Campaign, I don't give a lot of these fake-ass organizations my goddamn money, because y'all are fake as fuck, and y'all really don't give a fuck about the community, especially when it comes to queer Black people or queer people of color. Y'all don't care about us. Y'all care about your bottom line and give you a little money or whatever the case is. But anyway, let's get to on topic. But Cardi just said on Spaces that her album is dropping in September, and she has finally. Well, you know what? Look, it's funny you said on topic, but I said, look, if stuff is going on while I'm doing this show, definitely let me know in the comments. And I guess, Onyx, you wasn't here when I said it, but look, it's much appreciated. So about time. About goddamn time says it's been how long since we got an album from Cardi? 6 years. So I'm glad that the album's finally come out. But I do remember that she did tease, I think last week, because this is a new week, right? She did tease that she was coming out with a new song. I did see that, but and it said it might be a remix to the Sabrina Carpenter. Why am I all of a sudden starting to like Sabrina Carpenter? um But yeah, I'm actually excited. I hope it's good. Look, I'm not expecting. I really hope people don't start. Well, it ain't no Nicki Minaj. It ain't this. Cardi is her own individual artist. Let her be herself. Let her be great. Let her do what she does. If you don't like it, move on. Just like there's certain artists I don't like. I don't get overly critical of what they do. I don't sit and dissect or listen to people's albums I don't particularly care for. If I'm not a fan of the artist, I don't support and listen to their music. But I am excited for the new Cardi record, just like I'm also excited to work this Megan Thee Stallion concert next week. I really am, because I've never seen her perform live, so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what she's going to give. And yeah, I totally agree with this. It's like just like Christina Aguilera, she's part of, what is it called? What is the name of that damn 50-30, 51-50? 51-50. That's the isn't that when you're crazy? But yeah, Christina Aguilera is reinventing herself as an artist. She recently signed to a new label. I'm trying to stall as I look it up. It's called 50/20 Records, ending 26 years with RC. I feel old. Like 26 years since Genie in a Freaking Bottle. Can you believe that? But I think that song came out 25 years ago. But you signed the record contract before you start working on music. So yeah, they're saying that it's part of Sony Music, and it's a Latin label based out of Miami that touts a roster featuring Nathy Peluso. Is she from Spain? Because I'm lisping her name. Nathy Peluso and Kenya Oz. And they said 5020 is under Sony Music, so while she's no longer with RCA, she remains with her longtime parent company. So she's still a part of the Sony company, but she's, reinventing herself. And I actually like to look. People ain't buying the solo music. And I think also that Christina Aguilera is in the same boat as Jennifer Lopez and Justin Timberlake, which she's a legacy act, but she's another one that takes long periods between releasing music. And I feel like that hurt her too. Like Christina Aguilera would take like 4 years here, 5 years here, 7 years. Like she would take long period breaks between releasing. And I get it. You were raising kids and I think she's married now, second husband. And I remember that time when she was dating the background singer who was, how you doing? I got stories about him. Back in the day when she was dating that background dancer from the Genie in the Bottle, the one that had the cornrows. Yeah, he's a member of the community. Am I outing people? Or people knew about that. But anyway, it says she did, yeah. Speaking of Enrique Iglesias, I was hearing stories that he's out here making out with girls and stuff on his tour. Child, first of all, if I was Anna Kournikova, I would not be approving of that. Because I'm like, who knows what these people out here got? Y'all got the H, not the IV, but the other one, the HERP, the herp. You ain't gonna be spreading that. And then you gotta come home and kiss me on the mouth. You know what these people got? It's an AKA, yeah, like I said, it came out 2004. What year are we in? 2024? 2014. AKA, yeah, I'm still, we halfway through the year and already I can't still remember if we in 2024. Maybe it's the weed, yeah. But anyway, it's an AKA turns 10 years old. Mimi needs to cut new music. So, what's she working on music? I could have sworn I heard Mariah Carey was working on music. But I don't know what's going on with that. Caution will turn and sidebar. Since we always talk about do people need to be releasing new music, do people really want music from Mariah? Do people really want new music from her? I just saw recently, and I need to do research to find out if this is true. But they said she went and recently visited Netanyahu. Girl, are we out here visiting warmongers and going on their territory to perform and shit? Like, I would not. Mariah, you don't want to get canceled. And one of my friends who is really big on going in on Zionists, he is a Mariah Carey fan. Shout out to Miguel. And he posted that. I was like, I need to see if that's for real. Because if she is Mariah, what are we doing? And he said, oh, so I guess it is. Lambs are itching for new music. Okay. But just like I be saying, you know what, Madonna need to put out music. I can't sit and say that the Lambs don't want music. Because they'll be supporting it. And she'll have something to perform on this tour. I don't know if she could she only solely wants to rely on the Christmas season. I can't block Kylie Minogue, but this has always been her politically agnostic. True. And it kind of makes me wonder also, with people showing up at the Met Gala, because I know a lot of people are pissed off a lot of celebrities showing up at the Met Gala. Should it be that every celebrity should be inclined to speak out if they're not comfortable speaking out? I feel like you do it at your own discretion. There are people out here with protesters. Shout out to Sada Ramirez, who, was Che on And Just Like That. They were outside protesting the GLAAD Awards. I saw the video. Shout out to Kevin Ortega Rojas on the Instagram. He was interviewing them, and they were talking about how, this isn't just about Israel and Palestine. Like, we need to be vigilant about the queer people too. And I feel like that's another thing that's an argument that people seem to forget. It's like, well, these are the same people that go out and kill you or whatever the case is. And I'm like, but wait a minute. So I'm not supposed to have empathy for people in Palestine or Gaza who's being killed and stuff. And first of all, we also seem to forget that everybody who's in Gaza that has been killed is not heterosexual. They're not all heterosexual. There are queer people that exist everywhere. And you don't think that there are queer people in Gaza that are dealing with this shit right now, that are hiding who they are and have been killed? Who are in relationships with same-sex people or trans, like how they're dealing with this. And also, we seem to forget, okay, but how's that different than what's here? Because I don't necessarily feel 110% safe in America, especially when we have a lot of politicians trying to roll back our rights as queer people. So when they try to hit you with that argument, hit them with that. It's like, okay, so how does that differ than us being here? Yeah, they're not dropping bombs on us in the United States, but our rights are being violated as we speak. There are organizations pulling out of Pride events that are supposed to be coming up next month. There are certain targets that refuse to have queer merch. So a lot of our rights are being pulled, not just queer people, but people who are Black, who are shot at. Most recently, a cop shot someone, I forget what it was, like a guy that was in the army, whatever case, kicked in the door and waving they 4-4, and it was the wrong apartment, and they killed the guy. So how y'all gonna spend that? So we still have things going on in this country that we got to work on too, in regards of people of color and queer people not feeling safe. So you should see that as why people are running around protesting and fighting the good fight. So I think people seem to forget that. They think that, everything that's happening over there, it's not going to affect them here. Who the fuck told you that? Who told y'all that? Because that's not true at all. I said, a lot of people were pressuring Bella Hadid to speak on Palestine because her father is Palestinian. I've noticed the celebs with Jewish parents getting pressured as well. Doja Drake, whoever else. Yeah, look, that's what I said. If your own discretion, if you want to speak out on something, you should speak out. Ariana Grande signed a letter asking Biden for a ceasefire. I saw that the other day. I think it was yesterday that I posted that. And I don't know. Well, look, they've been pressuring DJ Khaled to do the same thing because he is Palestinian. But I feel like a lot of times people don't want to say nothing because they're worried about their livelihood. And it comes a point where it's just like your livelihood, your careers and stuff should not be the main thing that you're focusing on. There should be a way that you need to get past that. Or be willing to, like, I'm going to risk my career, whatever. That's not important right now. But the living in a peaceful world should be more important than my career, which is why you see a lot of these college kids out here who's like, yeah, I'm studying to get a PhD in this, and I'm studying for these high profile position type jobs or whatever, but I don't care because I'm willing to put my life on the line so that way I have, that way we can get peace for people out there in the world. So these younger kids who got less, are given less of a fuck, then why can't the celebrities do the same thing? They're human beings just like us. They're people. Well, default is in the room. Okay, so anyway, let's move on and let's talk about, because we were talking about J-Lo, let's talk about her husband, Chair. So so apparently it said Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck need to spend some time apart to maintain a healthy relationship. Now, decked out in a pale gold gown and cape and thigh-high slit, J-Lo shined at the Hispanic Federation annual gala in New York City on April 18th. Y'all know we're already in halfway through May, and I'm bringing up a tea about April 18th. But anyway, so they said Lin-Manuel Miranda presented her with the Pride Award, and she mingled with guests including Matt Damon and his wife, Luciana Barroso. Strangely missing from that bar of the big night was her husband, Ben Affleck, and Matt's BFF. They said that he was in LA shooting a movie, which he's actually doing now, and she had to go by herself. But she's been appearing in a lot of places by herself. Right now, in case people don't know, Ben Affleck is shooting The Accountant Part 2. Now, I will say that I like the original Accountant. I didn't think that the movie was going to be major enough for it to get a sequel, but apparently Hollywood done shelled out the money, and they said, okay, we'll go make your sequel. And they said that she's been doing that a lot, going alone lately, going alone. Said Ben and J-Lo have normally been together, are normally together 24/7, but lately they've been spending time apart. And then it said the couple who went at least 30 days without being publicly photographed together after they were spotted in New York City on Easter weekend in March. Jen's need to make their relationship so public and perfect often leaves Ben feeling overwhelmed and henpecked. He just needs to be by himself sometimes out of her shadow. Now, he's been out of his comfort zone for most of their nearly 2-year marriage. In the past few months, Ben, who once declared, I hate being famous, has supported 3 of Jen's projects, inspired by their second chance at love in her documentary. And Ben, who's 51, addressed how he and his wife, who's 54, have conflicting feelings about fame, saying, getting back together, I said, one of the things I don't want is a relationship on social media. Then I realized it's not a fair thing to ask, but ultimately, we're just 2 people with different approaches trying to learn to compromise. And one of the things I will say is that I feel like there is a way you can compromise. I don't want to be famous because people are like, well, why are you in the business? But wait a minute. Why can't I work in Hollywood and make movies and I signed up to be an actor. I didn't sign up to be a star. I didn't sign up to have paparazzi follow me everywhere. But then you go and marry one of the most famous people in the world. It's the same thing, the same complaint that was having about Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner. If you're someone who is an actor and likes to fly under the radar and just wants to focus on, you know what, I have a passion for putting on these different hats and this different skin and portraying these different people, but I don't want to be famous. I don't want to have paparazzi follow me around everywhere. I don't want us to intentionally show up at the Ivy and have them photographing us leaving the restaurant. I don't want to purposely have my publicist call TMZ to show up at LAX and ask me some stupid damn questions, which is what a lot of celebrities do. I don't want that life. Jennifer Lopez is someone who is immensely narcissistic. So he's not. He's someone who is, I love acting. I love the craft of acting. I like directing. I like putting movies together. I like the artistic aspect of the industry. I like being creative. I don't want to have cameras shoved in my damn face. But of course, the paparazzi know this because he's always walking up on them with a damn attitude. So if it's like you just throw your shades on, walk by like you're acting, ignore their ass, ignore the cameras, ignore the guys. Put some headphones in, blast your music, ignore these motherfuckers like they not even in your peripheral zone, and then do what you got, and then keep it moving. But Ben Affleck doesn't know how to do that, probably because he's a damn Leo like his wife. So they're total opposites. This also goes to show because they're Leos, that Leos are not a monolith. Because trust and believe, as a Virgo, all of us Virgos ain't the same. And they said to that end, J-Lo stuck around her hometown in the weeks leading up to the Met Gala, which she co-chaired on May 6th, while he filmed The Accountant sequel in LA, saying she's giving him some breathing room. Of course, she was a little hurt, but she knows he loves her. He just needs a break from the red carpets of publicity that she craves. And I also have to say that, you know what? As someone, if I'm in a relationship, yeah, I definitely need my space. Like this, like I need my. That's why I'm not opposed to if we live together, separate bedrooms, or even separate places. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to go out and cheat because a lot of people tend to think that. But I like my own. Sometimes I like my energy it's a lot. Like I'm an empath, so it takes a lot when people are sucking out your energy and stuff. And sometimes you don't want to be somebody all snugged up and hugged up on you. Maybe because also Virgos, we don't like people hugging up on us. We like to we like to initiate the hug or whatever. We don't want people hugging them up because my roommates they knew that it was like my roommate Devin is a Pisces and he loved to hug me all the time, but I think he used to do that shit to get under my skin, and I would just sit there like, would you get off me, please? And then my other roommate, Rick, would sit up in there and just start laughing. He's like, you know how it is. But it's like, yeah, we're not the most affectionate. And I don't know, maybe it's because maybe it's a coldness or whatever the case is, but it's just like, it's a lot when it comes to, we have to want to be the ones to initiate the energy and that sort of thing. So yeah, I don't like people touching me a lot. But sometimes like if I see people, like I'll hug you. Like I'm a hugger when I'm around people that I'm comfortable with, or when I meet people, it's like, yeah, I'm a hugger, whatever the case is. But if your energy is feeling away, it's like you getting a handshake from me. So so I'm not mad at Ben for wanting his own space and wanting time for himself or whatever. And I feel like in relationships that should be something that's respected. I always find it a little weird when people always want to be up under each other 24. I was like, no, give me space. Didn't Pink say like give me a chance to miss you like in one of her songs? So when I guess we come together, then I want to kiss you. I'm paraphrasing, but it's just like that's a Virgo thing. It's like we need our space. Or I'm sure it's not just a Virgo space. I'm sure there's other people that feel that way too. So let me know what you guys think about this story down below. But yeah, I just feel like you know what? Yeah, we're married and we're together and all this other stuff. But I need to also have my own life independent from the significant other. And I feel like that's how relationships last. So it's like y'all can be up when y'all with each other, we together. When we're in the same room and we're together, we're together. That's that. But I also need to have I need to also be able to have that place where I can have my own space and be by myself and have like be one with my thoughts. Or when I have my little cigarette or sneaker drink or whatever the case is. First of all, it should, as a grown ass person, you shouldn't have to sneak a drink or whatever. You should be able to freely smoke your cigarette or have a drink or whatever the case is. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, so let me see. Jennifer Lopez, another option for me. Well, look, I was it's funny you just came in, but I called her Jennifer earlier. Jennifer Lopez. I said, listen, every sign has one that's empathic and compassionate, and those who are narcissists, energy vampires. Oh yeah, she is definitely an energy vampire and a chaos demon. Like I can't like I'm not somebody that craves a lot of first of all, when you do certain things, especially when you're passionate about it, it's like a lot of energy. Like even when I'm doing this show now, a lot of energy is going into this. That is too funny. He said, "Oh, you're not a hugger." Well, look, I did say that but when it's people that I know and stuff, I hug my friends. I hug, I'm a hugger in that way. I usually initiate it. If I see people and I like them, I definitely hug. So he's like, "Oh yeah," because he said, "Oh, never mind," because I had to explain that earlier. It's like, yeah, I'm not necessarily in real life like a real big hugger, but um I had to be comfortable around you and stuff in order for that to happen. But anyway, so Zendaya has come out and said that she's not allowed to work. She has to work till Euphoria starts filming. What? The only reason the hiatus is happening is Sydney signed to do 4 projects. She's on her last one. But first of all, Sydney Sweeney is not the only one that's out here that's a part. She is not Euphoria. Yeah, she's a breakout star, and Jacob Elordi is a breakout star, and Zendaya is a breakout star. But Zendaya is an executive producer on on that show, so they can slice it any which way they want. But that doesn't make any sense because I'm like, y'all could just figure out how to make the schedule and stuff work. Because I'm sure, like, if it wasn't Euphoria, these kids wouldn't have a career. And Zendaya's been off making a bunch of movies, and her movies have been successful. She did the movie with Luca Guadagnino, who I heard was really good. The tennis movie, I can't remember what's it called, Challengers or whatever the case was. I heard that was really good. I feel like the trailers didn't really sell that film, but from the people that I know that saw the film, one of my really good friends, Esteban, watched it, and he said it was a really good movie. So I definitely want to see it when it comes out. I heard of some gay undertones or some gay stuff up in there too. But yeah, that's definitely a movie I want to. And Luca Guadagnino, he's been doing a lot of queer centric type movies. Like I think he has a movie coming out called Queer, and then he has another gay movie coming out with. Damn, I forgot who the other actors are, but he's been making a lot of gay type of films. The movie Queer, I think, stars not why am I thinking Daniel Radcliffe? What's his name from the last James Bond? Um, Daniel Craig. See, close enough. So that's what. Yeah, he's doing a movie with him. Okay, so what else? Okay, child, let's get into this. I'm so mad at myself because I just realized I did not open any of the 50 Cent stuff. So I don't know if y'all heard, but there's a whole 50 Cent situation going around. And you know what? First of all, King Combs, you a damn fool because you was out here poking the bear, and you know damn well 50 gonna clown you and read you for points because you out here trying to play with him in this whole situation. So the whole thing that's been going on with Diddy and the recent allegations surrounding him and all this other stuff and how the mansion was raided. I don't know if they did. They said 2 of the mansions, so I think it was L.A. and there was one in Miami. So King Combs decided to put out a diss track because now all of a sudden, because of Drake and Kendrick Lamar, everybody want to do a goddamn diss track, even down to Sukiyama and JT. First of all, them two should not be allowed to go near a booth, let alone a studio. The only place they need to be going near is a goddamn STI clinic. That's the only place that JT and the other bitch Sukihana need to be going there. You like getting your coochie scratched? You need to get your coochies checked too. So, um, so King Combs decided to come out with this song. I heard it earlier. It's trash. It's called "Pick a Side." So clearly, the lyrically challenged rap songs running the family. But then again, like Diddy says, I don't write rhymes, I write checks. Didn't they turn that into like a sample too? But anyway, so then he went and said something on one of the songs. He said, when they all had when all they had was 50 Cent, who put the city on the map. Stop lying. Pop's been hated on by many men. An N-word, that's fine. They gonna try to stop these M&Ms and they gonna die trying. This is what he said. And then he also said, I dare one of you N-words scream out, no Diddy, no Diddy, no Diddy, no Diddy, no Diddy. And then since he talking about he dared one of us to say it, I said it, which is gonna happen. And then he also said something stupid, which was, well, let me get to what 50 Cent said. So let me pull that up. Cause 50, you gonna say something to 50. 50 gonna come up in there, he gonna troll your ass. Look, he's got a lot of lawsuits and a lot of trolling that he's been doing. He's trolling his baby mother, who's accusing him of the R word. Then he's, still trying to get his money from Tierra Marie. And now King Combs decided, like a dumbass, to jump into a fight. So 50 said, I feel so threatened by the things Christian is saying on his record. I'm afraid for my life. Please don't hurt me, guys. I never mentioned or posted anything about Puffy's kids because Keefe D said he killed Tupac. LOL. But that is what Keefe D said. So why you get mad at 50 Cent? 50 Cent was just trolling. But you ain't go after Keefe D. But then there was one person in the comments, and I had to comment because they was like, "Oh, why y'all going after kids? He a grown, like he's a kid. Why you picking on kids?" First of all, King Combs is 26 years old. He is not a child. Once you over 18 and you decide to assert yourself into spaces that are adults' business, you are fair game. You don't get to poke the bear and then tell them how to bet the bear how to attack you. You don't. And I'm tired of people trying to play that victim shit, y'all. Because it says, since he a kid, why just ignore him? I do love the fact that, he don't never shy away from a beef. He also went in and had to remind King Combs about his own essay allegations. Because he said, damn, at King Combs, that's what you told Grace Marquet, I think is how you say her name, on that boat, huh? Gave her the puffy juice with that special sauce in it. LOL, boy, oh boy, bad boy for life. And let's see if there's order.
Suck my dick! Let's go. Yeah. Suck my dick. What? Suck my...
Yeah, so, look, and they said when Diddy go low, 50 goes lower. Look, first of all, I already told y'all, when they go low, I go straight to hell. And he wasn't finished. So he went and he posted this, which people was getting mad talking about that this is looking a little too sexual. I was like, wait a minute. First of all, there's nothing wrong with showing people affection. Y'all only looking at it this way because there's a lot of y'all don't have a lot of mommies and daddies in your damn life. Because I did see somebody made a comment about Keke Palmer kissing her parents on the mouth, and it was some African chick that got up on social media talking about that y'all should be out here kissing. First of all, if you have a good relationship with your parents, like I kiss my mother on the mouth. I mean, I don't kiss my mother on the mouth. I kiss her on the cheek. But I show affection when it comes to my parents and all this other stuff. It's nothing sexual. I don't want to have sex with my parents. So I hate when people always try to make things sexual. If you have a good rapport with your parents, and if you are emotional, you're someone who likes to show affection, you're emotional and that sort of thing, there's nothing wrong with showing affection to your parents. As long as they're not rubbing on your genitals while you're doing it and vice versa. But it's like we live in a society where we sexualize everything. So yeah, he posted this. He said, now why you say some ish like this when you know the feds are investigating? Is you stupid or is you dumb? Because in the song, he implies that they didn't check the right house. The feds. He says it in the song. So you're young and dumb. Why would you rat yourself out? Oh, they checked the wrong house. So you were just looking for like a moment, like you trying to, because that's what it seems like. What a lot of these kids are doing now. Now that beefs are trendy because of this Drake situation and Kendrick Lamar beef, which even Stevie Wonder had to jump in to weigh in on the situation. Now you want to sit up in here and use this as a way to what? Get clout? But it's backfiring. And I feel like you're messing yourself up by even going after 50 Cent, knowing the type of reputation 50 Cent has. And the way that 50 Cent is. Like, he loves trolling. Hello, he's from Queens. So they said, look, in case y'all don't remember, King Combs was accused of SA by Grace last month over claims that he attacked her on a yacht during a family holiday in St. Martin in 2022. Omar K, I think is how you say her name, worked as a steward on the yacht and alleged that drinks on board the boat had been spiked. She accused King of becoming violent and proceeded to kiss her neck, face, and hands against her wishes. In a separate incident, Omar K alleged that Combs tried to force her to perform, a baloney wash on him in the yacht cinema. She also claimed that Diddy paid a large sum of money to the ship's crew to keep the incident quiet after she reported it to the ship's captain. Aaron Dyer, who was the attorney of both Diddy and King, said the lawsuit was full of manufactured lies and irrelevant facts. Now, I'm hoping that at this point, because they try to say that what they try to do is make rap lyrics. They want to incorporate that in the court cases, which I feel is like a slippery slope. But who knows? Maybe it depends on the artist, and maybe it depends on the situation, especially when you have pending charges against you. If you have pending charges and you write a lyric in one of your songs that the feds checked the wrong house, the wrong house, should we be able to use that as evidence in a case in court? I feel like we're getting at a point where it's becoming a slippery slope, and it's going to probably depend on the situation. So, King, you better tread lightly. You better go back in that little hole you crawled out of and stay out of grown folk business. But like I said, you cannot be up here talking about, oh, he's a child or whatever, when he's a 26-year-old grown-ass man jumping into conversations that should be between 50 and his father. That is where the beef is. You coming out trying to show loyalty to your dad, I understand that, but do that behind the scenes or do that in other ways. But don't try to jump on a rap track like you Kendrick Lamar, because you're not. You giving Drake with this rap beef. It's giving corny, is what I'm trying to say. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of this story down below. Okay, so we have comments that, oh yeah, Daniel Craig, yeah, because it was like sometimes I be having brain farts in the middle of my stuff, then all of a sudden it just pops in my head like, Daniel Craig. I'm like, oh, okay, thank you, universe. As I thoughts on the backlash of Nicholas of Red, White, and Blue fame getting called out for being, I believe that they just greenlit a second movie for Red, White, and Royal Blue. I'm getting to a point where I'm getting irritated with straight actors coming out in this whole guilt trip about playing queer characters. Look, however way you can get, I'm of two minds about straight actors playing gay roles, because it feels like we heard this song and dance from oh my god, what the hell is his name? Blaine from Glee. Remember he recently came out, was talking about playing queer roles and all this other stuff, and how, whatever terminology he came out with recently about being a part of the queer community, even though he's a straight man or blah, 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 whatever. Look, I have no problem with straight actors playing gay roles as long as the playing field is equal on the other side, meaning you should be able to give queer actors opportunities to play straight roles or whatever role that we could get to go with. Why can't queer actors play the romantic lead? We're not getting those opportunities. But I will say this, until it is an equal playing field. Thank you. Daniel Chris, culturally queer. Because, sometimes that's why I love doing this live stream, because y'all definitely be helping me out in the comments. But when it comes to those situations or whatever, like, I have no problem with gay actors playing straight roles, just like I have no problem with straight actors playing gay roles. But until the playing field is equal, then I feel that whenever there's this major role, so say like they came up with an action movie and it's got a queer character is the lead character. Like we had a gay John Wick. I want a gay actor playing that part because we don't get to see that. We don't get to see a gay James Bond. We don't get to see a gay Blade, like a gay superhero, whatever the case is. We don't get to see that. So I would love to see a gay actor in that role. Like, who would be perfect for that? Like, oh my God, what's his name? Luke McFarlane, two Lukes. Luke McFarlane and not Lucas Gage. Well, I guess maybe Lucas Gage. I'm starting to like him now. I do like him on the what is it, that detective series that's on Netflix with the dead kids, the two dead person or whatever it's called. Why can I dead boy detectives? Why am I struggling to remember shit? So it's like, yeah, I'm Luke McFarlane because first of all, his body is bodying. And I liked him in that Bros movie, I'm particularly careful Bros. And that comedian that was in it, he should have been cast because he's not leading man material. But yeah, if they did something like that, I would have loved to have seen him. So Luke McFarlane, and then oh my God, why can I think of Luke? Not Luke Cage. Y'all know which Luke I'm talking about? The Welsh one, the fine ass one that's actually gay that was in Dracula Untold. He was in a bunch of other movies. All of a sudden now I'm drawing a blank. So anyway, those are the Lukes that I would like to see in those lead roles, or even if you're a black queer person. We need those opportunities. So those are the ones I want. If you're not going to even out the playing field and give us those spaces for us to tell our stories, then I don't want straight people being a part of it. Now, if you want to incorporate straight characters playing gay supportive roles, that I understand. But if we're going to do a gay horror movie, like a gay slasher film in the vein of like a Friday the 13th or whatever, I want queer characters in those movies. I want queer superheroes. I want queer actors in those parts because it should show you that, yes, they can play those parts convincingly because, the gay part is what they are, but the other aspect of the stuff is not who they are really. Like, we don't have actual superheroes that exist. They just happen to be gay. There's no vampires that actually exist, but you have a gay lead, a gay vampire hunter that's slaying vampires. So the only angle that they have is that, okay, they have sex with someone of the same gender. So if we have those characters or whatever the case is, I do feel like queer actors should play those. But if you're a supporting role, if you want to if you're a straight actor and you're playing a supporting gay role, that I don't have a problem with. But stop giving all the lead stuff to the straight people because all Hollywood cares about is a name and ratings and stuff. But if we show that those movies are profitable with a gay lead, then maybe Hollywood will be smart enough to be like, you know what? Okay, so now let's make more of those. Because that's the way they look at it. They just look at money. So, I think that's all I have to say on that. Okay, let's get to this hot ass mess. Let's talk about Tyrese, who, speaking of the minding the business that pays him, his ex-wife Norma Mitchell is suing him for defamation and seeking a temporary restraining order against him over IG posts, accusing her of blackmail and making death threats. Now, Gibson's ex-wife has dragged him to court over his latest claims. Not only did Norma slap him with a defamation lawsuit, she also sought a temporary restraining order against the F9 actor amid their legal war. Now, in her filing obtained by TMZ, Norma said she feels harassed by Tyrese's Instagram post about her, thus she asked the court to force him to take him down. Now, in addition, Norma, who was married to the Fast and Furious star between 2007 and 2009, wanted a judge to prohibit him from talking about them online. She also wanted a judge to make him pay for therapy sessions about all of this. Okay, now I'm signing on you about that. Like, I get the whole situation about he's putting your daughter's business out in the street, which I'm gonna get to, or he's talking about you on social media, or he's trying to paint you to be this horrible human being and all this other stuff. I get all that, but the whole thing of, but I need his money to pay for my therapy sessions. I'm like, girl, get you some insurance or pay for your own shit. I'm not asking no man to pay for that. Like, a lot of, good or bad enough. I mean, is he even paying child support? Like, focus on that sort of thing and helping you with the kid. But trying to get him to pay for all this extra because you're so traumatized from him talking about you, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. So they said on Tuesday, May 7th, Norma filed a defamation suit against Tyrese in a Los Angeles County Superior Court. Norma claimed her ex defamed her and revealed private information about their teen daughter, Shayla, in a series of Instagram posts he made between April 30th and May 7th. Norma alleged that Tyrese used the social media platform to make the disagreement public. It included slamming Norma with a cruel barrage of derogatory and defamatory posts. I do remember that, so she is right about that, including false accusations she had committed blackmail, extortion, death threats, tax evasion, forgery, bank fraud, wire fraud, and money laundering. Well, goddamn, that's a whole lot. And if she was doing all that, wouldn't IRS be on her behind? They said Norma also dragged Tyrese for sharing his family court motion on social media. According to Norma, the singer posted a Google Drive link to the filing in his bio. The motion itself listed Shayla's school and other personal details involving the mother and daughter duo. Now, on April 30th, Tyrese did share an image of a court order on Instagram saying, "I'm finally addressing because I have to. I've read your comments, so here's my response. The days of me suffering in silence and living in fear are over. 167 pages filed in the Los Angeles courthouse. No lies and no goofy-ish. Everything in these court docs have real receipts attached. Sadly, when F shit, well, fuck shit is what he said, but he put a bunch of little whatevers on it. Anyway, it's done to men. It doesn't matter. Blackmail, extortion, defamation, death threats, tax evasion, forced signatures, falsified bank statements, domestic and international wire fraud, money laundering, all the above spelled out. I got nothing to lose but my peace and sanity. Well, child, you're going to lose a lot more because you out here contiguously posting stuff out here instead of taking all this evidence you claim you have to court and having them deal with it. So you out here with your own mess, not cleaned up, in that glass house you living in, but you got time to assert yourself in everybody's business, including what's going on with that no good bastard, Brian McKnight, and his family dynamics. So, Tyrese, I don't feel sorry for you. I don't feel empathy for you. What more do we want from you is what you've been asking for so long. I know what I don't want from you. I want you to stop talking. I want you to get off social media and stop running your mouth on a bunch of BS because you've been out here sounding like the fool. People are not taking you seriously no more. Like you just a straight up clown at this point. So let me know what you guys think about this story down below. Are y'all sick and tired of Tyrese and his shenanigans? And does Norma have a case? Let me know in the comments down below. Okay. He said, "You hear that, Ryan Murphy?" Somebody needs to. Well, look, maybe I should have been giving him my ideas. Ryan, well, first of all, he'll write terrible scripts based on a lot of those ideas. Well, yeah, I said all the private information and stuff. So, you know, they basically was saying that, well, you know, the private information regarding, I guess, stuff about their daughter and information regarding, you know, her school information, you know, her school location and all that other stuff. He had Google Drives and stuff of it. And then you posting a lot of these things on social media. That is dangerous because we hear stories about celebrity kids getting kidnapped or famous people, not even that, politician kids, all kinds of stuff. Like, you put your kids in danger when you post a lot of their personal information on social media. Which is why a lot of parents opt to not opt to make sure their kids do not have Instagram or whatever the case is, or if they do have it, it's private. Or they keep an eye on it. You and me both, Cheryl. You and me both. I'm sick of Tyrese. All right, let's talk about Oprah, who is speaking out about her weight loss journey, and she's apologizing to a lot of her followers for being a major contributor to diet culture. So she's apologized for her role in promoting toxic diet culture months after finally admitting she used weight loss drugs to shed more than 40 pounds. Now, while hosting the Weight Watchers live special, Making the Shift, on Thursday, the talk show host acknowledged her role in diet culture and how she is done with the shaming, saying, "I've been a steadfast participant in this diet culture. Through my platforms, through the magazine, through the talk show for 25 years, through online, I've been a major contributor to it. I cannot tell you how many weight loss shows and makeovers I have done, and they have been a staple since I've been working on television." Now, during the special, which aimed to capitalize a new wave of change and how we collectively redefine the cultural and personal relationships between our weight, our health, and each other, according to a description of the program, Winfrey recalled the famous wagon of fat. Yeah, I was about to bring that up. moment that took place on her talk show, which she said was one of the biggest regrets. She said, I sent a message that starving yourself with a liquid diet set a standard for people watching that I or anybody else could uphold. And I've said this before, the very next day I began to gain the weight back. And she did say that that's what happened. And she gained a lot of the weight back as soon as she came out with doing that whole thing. And you saw like it balloon over the years. And liquid diets and all this stuff do not work. I remember the other day I was coming from the gym and I was on my way to work, because a lot of times I do that. If I'm working, because a lot of times I work later shifts and stuff, because Madison Square Garden depends. Earlier in the day, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go do a quick gym session, and then I'm gonna head right from the gym. I'm gonna head straight to work. And I remember like my headphones was dying. So I was like, okay, let me just take the headphones out. Let me put it in the charger, because I have a little charger that I walk with or whatever to charge my headphones. So I was like, okay, it's a nice day outside. Let me just take in all the sounds and stuff of New York and all this other stuff. So I'm walking past FIT, and I hear a security guard outside talking to these kids, and they talk about weight loss and all this other stuff. And she's talking about, oh yeah, liquid diet is real good too. And I'm sitting there like, no, it's not. Like, why y'all sitting up in here telling this lie that, okay, a liquid diet, it helps you lose? No, it does not. Like, you gain the weight back. First of all, you're putting a lot of liquids in your system. Your body needs foods and nutrients and stuff. Just change your diet, eat in moderation, and work out. And those are the main things you have to do. A lot of it is diet. Like, a lot of people think it's all exercise. A lot of it has to do with diet as well. I think more or less it has to do with diet and fitness, and than it is the fitness part. The fitness part does help because it maintains, but the diet is definitely a major part. You have to watch what you eat. Or if you're going to eat all the crazy things, eat in moderation. Because every now and again, look, I love my cookies, and I like I like having my little donuts or my snacks. I told you my crack is freaking M&Ms. I have to have my peanut M&Ms. So I'm not going to turn myself away from sweets. I think first of all, I'm my father's son and my grandfather's grandson, because my grandfather has who's 90. He has a sweet tooth, but they got to really monitor him because he's diabetic. My father is not diabetic, but he has a sweet tooth too. And I have a sweet tooth as well. I love chocolate. I'm not big on cake or all that other stuff, but I love a chocolate chip cookie. I love a brownie, weed or no weed. And I love chocolate. It's chocolate. The RuPaul's Drag Race joke. But yeah. So she also shared her experience with yo-yo dieting, which happened after a 1985 interview with Joan Rivers on The Tonight Show, when she and Rivers made the pact to lose weight together. During the interview at the time, Winfrey also tells Rivers the different diets she's tried. She said, I was so embarrassed, Winfrey said about that moment. That was the start of a vicious cycle of yo-yo dieting that ended up with the liquid diet, where I literally starved myself for months, and the result was now a famous wagon of fat moment. She also said it's really hard to love your own body when the whole world is telling you it wasn't worth loving. So you have to think about all the other stuff too, is that Oprah has always struggled with her weight. She's, it's yo-yoed. She's and they said the special also included conversations with Rebel Wilson, Amber Riley, Busy Phillips, and more. And we live in a society where it's just like, if you don't lose weight, or if you are overweight, you're not beautiful, you're not worthy. And then, we have communities and stuff that cater to that. I wouldn't say the bear community, but the gays ain't no damn better. The gays, we definitely have body dysmorphia. We definitely have issues that we deal with in regards of body positivity. And if you look at a lot of the advertisements, even for bears and stuff, there's a couple that will show you like a real bear and stuff. Like a couple of bear parties in New York. But for the most part, from a lot of the other bear parties that I've seen, they'll put muscle guys on the cover. I'm like, that's not a bear. You gotta have some kind of body fat. You gotta have a little jiggle in your titty. If you're gonna be on a cover or whatever the case is. But no, they want to show like these bodies, these perfectly sculpted bodies. I'm like, that's not a bear. So we go through our body issues and stuff in the community too. It's not just women. But I'm glad that Oprah came out and said what she said. And like, if you know better, you do better. So, as she liked to say in the past, when you know better, you do better. So I'm glad she's come to this revelation. She's at a point in her life where she's on pushing 70. And she's finally come to this revelation of like, the older you get, the less you care about what other people think. She loves herself. She loves her body. She's come to terms with it. And it's like, yeah. And I've said this before, I wouldn't shy away from like weight loss medications or whatever the case was. It was going to help me. Whoopi Goldberg recently was using some medication to help lose weight. Oprah as well. And it's like, yeah, I use the gym. I go to the gym and all this other stuff. But if you have a hard time getting rid of that extra 20 pounds and there's medication that's going to help you, get to that place where you feel comfortable, not to the point where you're looking like you need a sandwich or 5. But if you you get to a place where it's like, okay, now I feel great and you're trying to lose that extra fat, I'm not opposed to surgery. I'm not opposed to using other means to help you lose weight. And I'm just glad that Oprah was finally honest about how, her weight loss journey and losing the weight. So let me know what you guys think about this story down below, because I know most of us, a lot of it, well, I'll say most of us, I don't want to say everybody, but most of us deal with, struggling with weight and trying to lose weight and striving for that perfection, whatever that is. But, we all, have our issues with food, especially like when you go to other countries. Like I've heard people say that they go to Mexico and they eat the food out there and they eat a whole lot of food and they still feel light. Italy, the same thing. But in America, people feel gross. They feel uncomfortable. They're gaining a significant amount of weight because they put all kinds of stuff that's illegal in other countries. It's still available in our food. And the way that we, the what they're feeding the animals and how they're getting fat quickly, and there should be things that they put in the food in America should be illegal, but it's not, unfortunately. So let me know what you guys think of this down below. Okay, so we have comments. No, it wasn't really that juicy, but I thought it was juicy too. That I'm like halfway through the top, I'm like, you know what? I still don't care about this Tyrese story anymore. But I had to push through. It's like once I go in on a topic, I gotta commit. She needs to apologize to us. Well, that is look, yes. She definitely, not just about the weight loss stuff, but she definitely needs to apologize for giving us problematic ass people like Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz. Dr. Phil, I cannot stand him. I think he recently did an episode. Didn't he just interview Putin? And Dr. Oz out here was running for president, and all the stuff he was saying, it's like, really? Trash. I said, yeah, that was a great one. And Dr. Phil's okay though, right? No. And unfortunately, he and I share a sign. I believe he's a Virgo, but no. He was out here interviewing Putin. He was spreading misinformation about COVID, especially when it came to young kids in college, not college, but like elementary school kids and all this other stuff. He said, mind you, I have friends who died from complications of COVID, but this asshole out here talking about y'all should have pulled them out of school and all this other crap. Why are we listening to him? You're a TV doctor. But anyway, I know he's a real doctor, but I just call him a TV doctor. It's a teacher zone, but I said, okay. Yes, we are. I said, yeah, we're definitely the worst when it's gays and body dysmorphia. Because I know I have body dysmorphia. Like I'm in the gym and stuff all the time, and there's still imperfections that I see in myself. And it said, no fast, no femmes era of grinder. She did a skit on Jimmy Kimmel saying she fucks. Wait, who? Oprah? Or was it somebody else? But anyway, let's move on. And what's our next topic? Oh, Pauly D, who, shout out to him, who said he almost died while filming Jersey Shore. So Pauly D, DJ Pauly D, by the way, revealed that he was hospitalized in Nashville due to a ruptured hemorrhoid on Thursday's episode of Jersey Shore Family Vacation. They said the reveal came during the group's vacation in Arizona, where after Pauly spotted the show's medic during a dinner, saying, I have a lot of respect for those guys after I almost died, he said before the show flashed back to a confessional in Nashville where the DJ started feeling off, saying, I don't feel well, he said to producers in the footage before telling them he was feeling dizzy and couldn't breathe. Production then called 911. In a confessional film after the emergency, Pauly explained what happened in detail, saying, in Nashville, I had a little problem where I had a hemorrhoid that ruptured and it was bleeding throughout the night, and it was bleeding so bad I lost so much blood that I actually fainted. I had to get rushed to the hospital and they had to give me a blood transfusion and then sew that up, he said before praising girlfriend Nikki Hall for flying to Tennessee to be by his side through the ordeal. He said it was a scary thing. Now, in Arizona, he told the rest of the cast that he bounced right back after the blood transfusion, adding that the scariest part of the situation for him was having to cancel 2 of his shows as he hates letting down his fans. Clearly okay now, he then compared his comeback to that of a bloodsucker from the Vampire Diaries. He said, if you watch Vampire Diaries, it's the same thing. When the vampire has no blood, he's weak. When he has blood, he's brand new. I'm a vampire, legit. So, shout out to Pauly D. I'm glad that he's better and stuff. We've been talking. I've noticed I've been talking a lot about Jersey Shore lately. I still have not seen when with Ronnie and Sammy reuniting. I need to watch that. But yeah, like we were just talking about how Vinny loves black girls. And I love the fact that people reacted positively to him saying that it didn't come across as like him being being a fetish, whatever. But I feel like the way that he answered that was because the girls, black girls who were in the interview, made it okay for him to kind of play along with what they were saying. Once you go back and the black and the berry, when you say it, he's like, okay, so now I guess you're giving me permission to kind of play along with that. So I'm gonna go along with it. And he played along. But he has a deep respect for black girls and like I've said about Italian men and black girls. And I believe Paulie's girlfriend is black. So he loves the black girls, which is why I guess the reality shows with them trying to find girlfriends wasn't working. Because MTV, per usual, their race, a lot of these racist companies and stuff will try to push a certain narrative of, oh, these are the type of girls we want you to date. We'll give you one black girl, but we'll give you a bunch of white. I was like, no, I don't like any of these girls. My taste is what it is. And why can't you just put that as what I like versus what you're trying to sell the audience that's watching? So I'm glad that he's alive and all this other stuff, and he told this story. So shout out to him. All right, so now Brad Pitt's security guard is coming to Brad's defense and calling out Angelina Jolie on her parenting, saying that she wanted the children to shun their father during custody visits. Now, in the latest filing and the winery war, because they're still trying to fight over who gets ownership of the winery that they own together, child, just split the shit and cut your losses, is what I say. A former guard for the couple alleges in a declaration and start over. In a declaration that Jolie was overheard by security staffers, or I'm still on the whole winery thing. Or why don't she just buy him out? Like I just like, bitch, buy me out, buy me out, and let me get my money or whatever the case is, or just give me like a small percentage of it. Or I feel like better yet, just buy it out. You handle the all the work and stuff, but just give me my money back that I invested in this winery. So they said that she was overheard by security staffers telling the couple's kids to avoid Pitt during custody visits with their dad. Now, Tony Webb, a veteran of the UK's Royal Marines and British Army Special Air Services, who later went into private security, says in court documents filed on Thursday by Pitt's lawyers that between 2000 and 2020, I provided varying degrees of personal security for Angelina Jolie and her family, and I currently provide services for Brad Pitt. Webb alleges that his job when he worked for the couple included running security for Jolie and the family whenever they left the United States, as well as getting people to sign NDAs for Jolie, including hotel staffers. But he ain't signed one. So it says, after Pitt and Jolie split in 2016, Webb's firm SRS Global continued to provide security for the Maleficent star and her children. The stars were in a nearly 5-year legal battle for custody of their 6 children. Webb recalls that after Pitt and Jolie broke up, his business relationship with Jolie went south when Webb was told by Jolie's assistant Michael Vieira that 2 independent contractors for his security firm might be testifying in the family court case. Webb said the court docs that Jolie's assistant then asked me to stop these 2 individuals from testifying. I understood that Mr. Vieira was making the request on behalf of Miss Jolie. He also added that I explained to Mr. Vieira that I had no power to stop them because they were independent contractors and they're not employees of SRS Global. I guess that's why you can't sign an NDA, because they're independent contractors. So it says, Mr. Vieira then told me that his call would serve as a reminder to those individuals that entered a non-disclosure agreement with Miss Jolie, and that I should remind them to tell them that if they testified in a family law case, Miss Jolie would sue them. Webb further states that LA Superior Court papers filed by Pitt's lawyers, I communicated this message to the 2 individuals over the course over the phone, and they both told me that they plan to testify. One of the two individuals, Ross Foster, specified that he intended to testify regardless of the NDA if he received a court subpoena. When Mr. Foster told me this, he told me that if asked, he would testify about statements he overheard that Miss Jolie made to the children, according to them, encouraging them to avoid spending time with Mr. Pitt during custody visits. He says, in the end, I understand that Mr. Forster and other individuals mentioned above were in fact subpoenaed, and they both did in fact testify in the Jolie Pitt family law case. The latest allegations stem from the couple's battle over NDAs. Now, last month, Jolie's side argued in court papers that she shouldn't have to turn over all her past NDAs to her ex in their epic war over their $500 million winery. Well, now I see why they're fighting over it. It's worth $500 million. But I'm like, well, shit, just split it in half. You can take your thing, give me $250 million, buy me out, and you get to keep the rest. That's what I say. Just pay me, give me $250 million. I'll take that and keep it moving. I'm like, you can have the winery, but I'm sure there's constant money that'll keep coming in with the winery over the year, because of course you're selling the bottles and people are buying up the wine and all other stuff, and however they're outsourcing the wine and all other stuff. But shit, $500 million, that's a lot of money. She also claimed that Pitt wanted her to sign an unfairly onerous and expansive NDA covering Pitt's personal misconduct, whether related to Miraval or not, in order for her to sell her stake to him. Hereby, the ex's deal fell through over the NDA, she claims, before Jolie then instead sold her shares to a Stoli subsidiary. She had also alleged that he was trying to silence her from speaking about allegations he was abusive to her and her family. Because remember, there was allegations that he went and hit the oldest child because on the private plane, but he said he was disciplining them. Because a lot of times these kids need to be checked. And to me, I feel like Angelina gives me gaslighter tease, that she's someone who could be very vindictive. Look at her family background. Like, her father was a piece of shit. John Voight still is, and a Trump supporter. But I ain't the only reason why he an asshole. And we knew for a long time that John Voight was trash. But Angelina Jolie gives me very much like she's a vindictive woman and would weaponize her being the mother of those kids and using that against them. But then again, Brad, sir, you brought this upon yourself when you decided to cheat on Jennifer Aniston and get with her because you thought the grass was green on the other side. But I totally get it. You looked at Angelina because she was the family woman, and I guess you being with Jennifer, she didn't want to have kids and all this other stuff. So you kind of looked at it in that way. He also says that Jolie hatched a ploy to turn this business dispute into a sideshow about family court matters. And that her hook is to allege that she was justified in terminating an imminent deal for Pitt to purchase her interest in Chateau Miraval, and in doing so breach her obligations not to sell to a stranger without his consent, because Pitt's lawyers asked for an NDA to be included in the deal papers. His side further says that Jolie then uses Pitt's NDA proposal as an excuse to introduce into the case the unfortunate circumstance related to the dissolution of the couple's marriage, claiming that the proposal engendered an emotionally devastating reaction in her that caused her to back out of a deal and to sell to Stoli because she would have purportedly silenced her ability to speak about the personal matters. So it goes on and on. Child, this is a long-ass article. That's what it says. The LA case is set to take place on May 16th, so that's in a couple of days. A full trial is not expected this year. The Miraval case is also playing out on a Luxembourg court as well. The Hollywood execs have been fighting over the venue they purchased in 2008 ever since Jolie filed for divorce in 2016. So, but then I should say Paul Murphy and attorney Jolie said in a statement, Mr. Pitt's continued attempt to equate common NDAs for security personnel and housekeepers covering confidential information employees learn at work with him demanding an expanded NDA to ensure the continued cover-up of his deplorable actions remains shameful. This case is not about NDAs in general, but about power and control. All Angelina has ever wanted was separation and health, with possible relationships between all members of the family, including Mr. Pitt. She looks forward to the day that when he is finally able to let her go. Well, Brad, don't you got a new girlfriend? He's dating some Spanish chick. And Angelina, they were saying that she was dating somebody who looked like a child. I'm saying feature-wise, he looked like a little kid, but I know he's grown. But I don't know necessarily what her relationship status is, but I do know that Brad's been dating some actress or somebody or another, something or another. I think her name is Inez. But whatever the situation, I really hope that they work this whole thing out, that they untangle this child. This is why I'm not getting married, because it's like all this stuff, when you get it all tangled up and stuff, it just, you be in court all the time. You be spending years, decades trying to get untangled out of situations. So I'll definitely keep you guys abreast of this story as it develops, because child, it is a mess. And I feel like we're not going anywhere with this whole situation. So it isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Okay, so it was messy when those two got together, and Split is even messy. Anderson is probably beyond Kiki, because it's like she feel like, you know what, I dodged the bullet. You can have his ass. Because I know she was hurt at the time and everybody was dogging them. And don't get me wrong, I love Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I love Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but um and I get it sometimes when you're on movie sets, like the energy and everything shifts and you realize that, okay, you're not happy at home. But then sometimes the way you go about it, you go with your heart. And I get all of that. And sometimes things is messy, but yeah, y'all relationship, y'all went into this, like Lamont said, you went into this relationship messy. And now it's like, we shouldn't be surprised if the divorce is messy. It's another good one. Didn't even think about Jen. No, well, a lot of people wasn't, because Jen been keeping a low profile. I am looking forward to the new season of the morning show, though. It said, call your girlfriend, Alexa play Robin. It's like they're gonna die young, always performing for the camera. Wait, who is? Anyway, let's move on, because we got 4 more topics when we out of here. Let's talk about Mike Tyson. See, we haven't really been talking about Mike Tyson and stuff on the show. I've been trying to figure out a way to incorporate this into the show, whatever. This whole thing about him and this upcoming boxing match with Jake Paul. So on July 20th in Arlington, Texas, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson are going to be going at it, in a boxing match. So, according, Deadline reporters, they said Mike Tyson was once the baddest man on the planet as the heavyweight boxing champion. But at age 57, and better known for his roles in such projects as the Hangover films and the Mike Tyson Mystery TV series over the last 19 years, and those, SA allegations that he pled guilty to. So now, let me not turn into TMZ and always bring up the criminal stuff. But I guess being a messy show, sometimes we got to go there. Tyson has raised concerns that he's making a big mistake by returning to boxing. Kind of similar to what I said about, when Michael Jordan came out of retirement and then came and tried to do the whole basketball thing. It's like, no, leave your legacy where it is. Why come and mess up your legacy for a moment like this? But I'm sure it was probably too good to pass up because they backed up the Brinks truck. And to me, boxing, in my opinion, has become more of a gimmick than the awesome sport that it once was. My father is a huge boxing fan. Like when I worked out of the gym, like one of my things was UFC gym. Like I loved working out with them. I actually miss it. It's not many that exist in New York anymore. But the whole MMA type of thing and that whole workout in a punching bag and other stuff, it's a great way to work out. I hated doing those burpees and mountain climbers though. But for the most part, I love the whole boxing style of working out. Because you definitely work out every aspect of your body. But I feel like boxing has kind of like become a hollow shell of itself in the past, in like a long time. Especially when they be having like YouTubers jumping in to fights with people, or you have them fighting former heavyweight champions, or people like Floyd Mayweather fighting, MMA. Like, what the hell's going on? But anyway, so it says Tyson is set to fight Jake Paul on July 20th. It's not an exhibition. The match is commissioned by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulations as a professional fight. Paul is 27, is 9-1 in his career with 6 knockouts against a mix of celebrities and middling fighters. His only loss is a split decision by Tommy Fury, brother of current heavyweight champion Tyson Fury. Now, despite Paul's lack of top opponents and Tyson's 50-6 record with 44 knockouts, there is concern among the older boxer's peers. Now, former champ Deontay Wilder is the latest to speak out, saying, "I don't want the last thing I remember of him is him getting knocked out by a YouTuber." This is what Wilder said. The last thing you do, that's what people remember you by, which is so true because, and he said that people don't truly care about Tyson's well-being. There could be some truth in that. He says, "I think it's bad the commission has licensed Mike Tyson because he hasn't been active in 20 years. So they should not just license him because of who he is. That's how people get hurt. God forbid he gets hurt. People can get hit in the wrong place and at the wrong time. There's lots of examples where guys have been hit into a coma. It's easy to do. He's too old for this. At the end of the day, no one gives a F about Mike." Well, here's the thing. Nobody put a gun to Mike Tyson's head and told him to take on this situation. I'm sure the money lured him in. I'm sure that was a major part of it. But also, whatever happened to, like, you know what, let me defy expectations. And at somebody who's 60 years old, let me see if I still got it. Let me see if I can go up against somebody who's half my age and probably show him a thing or two how it is, in this ring. Me as a kid, I grew up with Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson actually grew up in my neighborhood in Brownsville, Brooklyn. I remember when I was a kid and I lived in Brooklyn, across the street from Marcus Garvey Projects, he used to go, there was like the little community center situation that was across the street. And he would give out free turkeys there. So I remember growing up seeing Mike Tyson out in the street. Him and Don King, may he rest in peace. They'd be standing outside, they would give out free turkeys. I don't think my parents went out and got it because my parents were working. But I remember one day I was home from school, probably from being suspended for acting up. Don't judge me on my past. I don't live there no more. But I believe that, when I was a kid, not I believe, I bear witness to it. Like, I would see Mike Tyson giving out turkeys in Brooklyn in the hood. So that was my fond memory of Mike Tyson. And yeah, he was the GOAT back then. He was like one of the big superstars in boxing and the undisputed heavyweight champion. So in my opinion, growing up, as someone who grew up with Mike Tyson, that's how I would want to remember him too. And I feel like we always talk about it in this current generation. A lot of younger generation aren't really familiar with Mike Tyson, so they can care less. But they know who Jake Paul is because Jake Paul is a YouTuber. He's somebody who we infiltrate the same space. So he's someone who's a personality, who's someone's on social media, who has done some problematic things also himself. But for the most part, like in the beginning, when I first heard this story, this definitely rubbed me the wrong way. So I didn't like the idea of Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fighting, whatever, but I understand the name of the game and why they're doing it. It's for clicks and likes and social media. It's the, hype. It's the hype machine. It's to get people rather interested in boxing. So that's why they're doing it. So I do hope that, even though they've greenlit this situation and Mike is is getting ready, he's training, that they've looked at all the things that people have been genuinely concerned about in regards of him returning into the ring after 2 decades of not being in the ring, of retiring. And should people who have retired come out of retirement and play again? That's kind of like Tom Brady coming back to play football at 60. I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, look, quiet as it's kept, some people said he should have retired a while ago, like being in your mid-40s still playing football. But if there's a way that you can defy expectations and really, push against the odds, I don't have a problem with them coming back. But I will admit that, yes, Mike is a man of a certain age. You can't deny the age part. I know a lot of people don't want to call out ageism or make it seem like, not even call out ageism, but make it seem like it's an ageist type of thing. But I think it shouldn't hurt to be genuinely concerned for someone based on their age. Like your bones and everything start deteriorating when you're a certain age. So let me know what you guys think of this story down in the comments. Okay, so it's gonna be an epic disaster. I mean, yeah, because what if he puts he knocks out. What if Mike Tyson knocks out Jake Paul? I mean, what if it's the other way around? Are people going to be as concerned for his well-being? Well, yeah, it was a definite memory and stuff. It's like, yeah, I remember seeing Mike Tyson when I was growing up as a kid. So that was one of the great things about living in Brownsville. I wouldn't recommend people live there now. If you know, you know. Okay, so all right, so let's move on and let's talk about Violet Chachki. Wait, is it Violet Chachki? No, it's not. It's child, I'm messing up my drag race girls. Let's start over. All right, so let's move on. Let's talk about Pearl, who has spoken out about the lasting impact of drag race fame. And she's also talking about being stalked by fans and being assaulted and stuff. So there's a lot of stuff she's been going on. Because remember, she was on. It's funny. We got two girls that we're going to be talking about from season 7. We're going to be talking about Pearl, and we're going to be talking about Violet Chachki. That's like the season a lot of people call the boring season. But anyway, so Pearl 33 was a fan favorite contestant. Remember, because she asked RuPaul, "Is there something on my face?" Like, bitch, why are you looking at me like that? Why are you staring? But anyway, it said that she was a fan favorite contestant on Drag Race season 7 back in 2015. Damn, it's been that long? But has since moved season 2015, in case I didn't finish saying the number. But has since moved away from the show's spotlight. They said that while the star still uploads some drag content on social media, largely focused around drag characters she has conceived away from Pearl, she has yet to return to an all-star season and has not toured as Pearl for some time. So she instead uses her social media profiles to share images of her impressive design work, travels, and glamper van renovations. You know what? That would be an actual great idea. Like, if I feel like Pearl, you need to capitalize on that. Like, if you're designing vans, if you're doing like glamper vans, like for camping and stuff, like that would be a good HDTV type of show. I would definitely tune into that. Look, I'm looking for, it hasn't come on yet. I'm looking forward to the oh my god, what the hell's her name, Trixie Mattel, where her home renovation type show that she has coming on HDTV. Like, that would be a great idea. You have a drag queen going around and reinventing campers for people that want to go glamping. Because here's the thing. When I was a kid, I loved camping. You know, I was always in camp. I was in the Cub Scouts and all that stuff. But chill, I'm gay. Like, I want to glamp now. Like, I want to be fancy smancy out in the woods. That's where I'm at in my life. But anyway, so it said over the weekend on May 11th, the content creator addressed fan demands for her to tour as Pearl again and open up about her incredibly difficult time in the Drag Race limelight, saying, "This is dramatic, but I'm actually traumatized from traveling / gay fame. TBH, I've realized there's something about me that like triggers people. It's led to a lot of scary and unpredictable behavior that IDK how to navigate." This is what Pearl wrote. "Can't tell you how many times people have thrown a drink on me, groped me, stolen from me, tried to pull my wig off, gotten physical with me, followed me, etc. I've had stalkers," she revealed. Pearl explained that she's been forced to share dressing rooms with drag queens who act like they have no idea who she is, and has had harrowing experiences with some show organizers. Saying, "I've helped many friends succeed and I've been stabbed in the back in the most random ways. Oh, and there's an endless barrage of lies and vitriol about me online," writing that her private photos have been leaked and her body have been criticized. Because I think also, if I'm not mistaken, Pearl does an OnlyFans. So, you know, there've been people out here posting pictures of Pearl in, you know, their man regalia, and they've been, you know, they've been saying that they've had photos leaked about them, private photos. So it says, reflecting on how fame has changed her a little as a person, she explained that she has become mistrusting and isolating in the 9 years since season 7 aired. During Pearl's run on the show, she was told she needed to come out of her shell, with RuPaul insinuating she lacked personality. The interaction led to one of the most awkward and famous run-ins between RuPaul and a contestant, as you remember what I said earlier in the show. Do I have something on my face? Now, in 2018, Pearl, not Paul, we just talking about Jake Paul, that's why. But in 2018, Pearl addressed the incident on YouTube series Hey Queen, in which she said that RuPaul once told her, "Nothing you say matters unless that camera is rolling." The Drag Race fandom ran with that quote, and it was used to push a narrative of beef between Pearl and the show. The remark also led the fandom to question how other drag race queens are treated by the legendary host. Because, Cheryl, I heard stories that RuPaul's not the nicest. Don't ask me how I know, but I've heard tea. You know, I got people in places that know things. But anyway, so Pearl further explained that wishes, and I don't reveal my sources also, that she could undo her interview with Hey Queen as the quote became her identity. However, she also reiterated she is no victim and now lives the most peaceful and fulfilling life away from the drag race world. After her candid post, Pearl's comment section was flooded with fans and fellow drag race stars sending her well wishes. I'll never understand the full scope of what you have been through. And of course, you've been in the ring longer than me, but I can relate to several sentiments and I just wish I could give you a hug. That's what Selena S. Titties wrote, from season 15. Thank you for being transparent and honest. Your real fans, or should I say, the people you don't know that care about your well-being, we are here for you. I love to see you sharing your absolute normal life. A third added, I'm sorry that what you've experienced and wish you love and light. As a fourth person wrote, stepping away from that toxic spotlight that any artist craves at first is admirable. And that's why, you know what? It's unfortunate. Yeah, I do feel bad that Pearl had to go through that. Like, I had no idea that Pearl was dealing with so much, hate, vitriol, whatever you want to call it, from a lot of people. And it's unfortunate that that's something that she had to go through and she had to deal with and that sort of thing. And that's why, at times I feel for a lot of the queens that, go on Drag Race. A lot of them just go on this show because they want an opportunity. They want to go and they want to, they want to live their life. They want to, they want to have an opportunity to spread out and become famous off of, going further than just being some dive bar drag performer. And there's no shade to that, but Drag Race offers you an opportunity to have a career. And I, definitely love the fact that that is an opportunity that's presented for them. The door that Drag Race opens for a lot of these queens that have the careers that they want to have as to get them to showcase their talent. But this is why I love the fact that Mo Hart did a video the other day on how to brand yourself, which is why, but I guess, this was almost 10 years ago. So the times is different. Now, if you want to be able to present a certain narrative about yourself outside of the edits of Drag Race, this is why Mo Hart was saying y'all need to create content for yourself on social media so that way when you go on these type of shows, people are like, you know what, that is not the Pearl that we saw on TV. That was just a snapshot of what was going on in their life, and we can move beyond that. So we're not going to just take that literally. But I do feel like a lot of people who watch Drag Race, y'all take it way too seriously. Y'all got to go on social media and send people hate and all these other things. And it's like, it's a TV show. Like, I get wrapped up in the drama and stuff too, but I understand in my mind that it's TV. You're in a pressure cooker. You're filming this damn show for a month and a month and some change. And it's 14 or 16-hour days of filming this show. You don't have no life. You're getting shit from the show to the hotel. You're confined to your room. And you really don't have you have no way of interacting with the outside world. So people just watch the show for what it is and that sort of thing, and just don't think like, okay, now I'm out here performing, trying to benefit from being a Drag Race girl and make that money and make a name for myself. And y'all trying to pull my wig off. You and the queens are showing me, the other queens that I'm in sharing dressing rooms with, showing disrespect, or I got people trying to assault me or violate me or touch me inappropriately. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, show respect. And that's sort of respect these people, because they're people just like us. Yeah, they're our community superheroes, but they deserve just as much love and respect and understanding as everybody else. So shout out to you, Pearl. I'm glad that you told this side of the story, and I don't think you should regret anything. Look, in the words of Madonna, absolutely no regrets in anything you do in life. If you're going to do an interview and you're going to tell your side of the story, I love the fact that you did the Hey Queen interview, and that you told your side of the story and what you told from your experience of being on Drag Race. And if you telling this story, bars you from being a part of that franchise, oh well. There's other things that she has going on. I just saw on her IG bought a house, and you're doing all these other things where you're designing campers and all this other stuff. So you found you don't necessarily. I'm just glad that Pearl doesn't have the 110% solely rely on drag as their livelihood. That you have other talents that you can rely on, and you still feel brave and bolden enough to tell your side of the story and tell your experience and reveal things that your encounters with RuPaul wasn't that pleasant. Especially since a lot of times I feel like a lot of us put a lot of pride and energy and emphasis on our heroes. And a lot of a lot of drag queens, they look at RuPaul as their superhero, as the person that inspired them to want to do what Ru has spent 3 decades doing. So when your hero disappoints you, why can't I talk about it? So I'm not mad at Pearl for what they said. So shout out to you. Shout out to everything you're doing. And yeah, that's that. But anyway, so let's move on and let's see some comments. It was like, I love how people say we're here for you over the internet. I was like, we're here for you, girl. I was like, yeah, but um how are you here for me? In what way, sis? But I guess that's just their third term of endearment or whatever. Them showing endearment on love or whatever. From what is that word? Why am I having problems reading it? Like, child, I may have to see a neurologist. Am I struggling today with the reading? Reading is fundamental, bitch, as they say on Drag Race. It said is that withing or withing? From withing the community and the folks that purport to out. Yeah. Child, I'm having a moment. So let's move on and let's talk about another Drag Race season 7 girl, and that would be Violet Chachki, season 7 winner. Violet Chachki, by the way, who is addressing the criticism she received after hosting a season of the spinoff show, Fashion Photo Review. So Fashion Photo Review, I'm sure everybody knows, is a show where, you get a lot of the Drag Race girls. We've seen Trixie Mattel host it. We've seen Bianca Del Rio host it. We've seen Bob the Drag Queen host it. We've seen so many other people host it. I think at one point Violet Chachki hosted it along with, did she also with Got Mick, or she brought her on? They bring her up first. It's like, I think it's, I'm trying to remember, because I don't really watch Fashion Photo Review like that, but I remember she's had Got Mick on there as her co-host or whatever. But anyway, so let's talk about Violet Chachki and get into that. So the spinoff has long been hosted by season 3 champ Roger alongside various so yeah, that's what it is. It's like it'll be one person, but they'll bring in co-hosts and they'll just give their opinion on, the fashions and stuff. I think it's because I'm thinking of there's other shows that be on YouTube as well that host fashion review type stuff. Or maybe I'm thinking the other show that that they do is not just Fashion Photo Review. It's another show that they host up there where they talk about where they break down the Drag Race episode. I think I'm getting my shows. But anyway, let's move on because there's so many, and then World of Wonder have all their stuff up on there too that confused the hell out of me. But anyway, so they said that it features a look on each episode of Drag Race being reviewed and either tooted or booted. Now, when All Star 7 rolled around, Roger was busy competing, so in stepped season 7 queen, Violet, and so I knew I was bugging. It was her and Got Mick, and people just did not like their energy on the show because they felt like that Violet's critiques were a little harsh, and that her and Got Mick were being real stink with their attitudes and how they were presenting when they were conversing about a lot of the looks from the girls. So Violet recently appeared on Mistress Isabel Brooks's YouTube channel and addressed the situation, saying, I really don't know what happened. That's the effed up part, she said in the video with the season 15 finalists, which is titled Shredding RuPaul's Fashion Over the Years with Violet Chachki. To me, outfits are so unserious, she went on to say. I do take drag very seriously, but at the end of the day, girl, it's clothes. It's the most unserious thing ever. It's just silly. Her no-nonsense attitude is a result of her drag upbringing in Atlanta, Georgia, she explained. She said, in Atlanta, the girls, when I would stand on stage, they'd be like, your dick is out. Your tights are ripped. This is wrong. That's wrong. You're ugly. You're fat. That's the school of drag that she comes from. Now, Violet is no stranger to sharing her opinion. She recently told French publication, I think it's called Agence France Presse, I went to a Catholic school, so was always told I had to wear a uniform and you can't wear this or that. Drag was always rebellious, always punk, but Drag Race changed that. When I started drag 12 years ago, it was really underground. It was not a career that you would want. There are maybe too many drag queens at this point. Now it's become a career path. It's become oversaturated and homogenized. And I know people was mad at her over saying that, but what was wrong with her for saying that? It is true. It's like at one point, drag was punk. Drag was this thing that was just like, you know what? It was edgy. It was outside the box. You could do so many different things. You have comedy drag. You have gender fuck drag. You have that punk type of drag. You have glam drag, like the pageant drag. You have so many different types of drag. But now when you have RuPaul's Drag Race, which has become like one of the biggest things on TV, it's like, yeah, you've ushered it into the mainstream. I kind of referred to, Drag Race is basically, Disney, the Disney-fied version of what drag is. So it's, it's for everyone. It's for kids. It's for this. It's for that. And to me, it's like when I grew up, it wasn't about kids. First, as a child, you couldn't even get in to see a drag queen. I had to go literally to a gay club or a gay bar to see drag. Like my very first drag queen that I ever encountered was when I was young and I went to Esquilita. But back when that was open, that was the main club that all the butch queens, all the trans women, all the peer kids, everybody who was from New York, if you were black, urban, Latino, whatever, and if you were white, some white people went there too, because if that was what you were into, you went to Esquilita, and that was the club. I miss that damn place because that was lit. And the first queen I ever encountered was someone who I'm dear friends with, Harmonica Sunbeam, and her DJ at the time, DJ Relentless, is another friend of mine. So it's funny how you become friends with the very people who you come encounter with, and who inspire you, and who open your eyes up to so many different things in the world that you've never witnessed. So going around then, it was like that was the time I got to see drag queens and see drag performers, and it was a way that people did make a living. Trans girls, they were up in there doing their performances and stuff. That's they went and got their tips, they got their coins, and that's how a lot of them was making a living. But yeah, drag race has become oversaturated, and it's taken a lot away from that. But in regards of, and I don't think like drag should be something that you should, not in a negative way, aspire to. Like the other day, I'm watching Sherry Shepherd's show, and you had George's up there. Oh, I knew I wanted to be a drag queen since I was 12, and that was something I aspired to be. And I knew once I saw a Drag Race, that's what I wanted to do. That is what this generation is now. Back when I was growing up, that wasn't an aspiration. That wasn't something that you wanted to be or whatever. And I like the fact that kids are finding their career path and stuff, but there's no guarantees in drag. There's no guarantees that you're going to make it on a show like Drag Race. There's no guarantees that, okay, you're that 12-year-old kid and that Drag Race is going to be going into its, we're already going, they're about to start filming season 17 soon. So there's no guarantee that there's going to be a season 20, season 22, season 25, season 30. I mean, I guess as long as there's money in the show, we'll see how long it lasts, even if they decide to go on without RuPaul. But, excuse me. But then again, I do understand what Violet is saying, where she's like, you know what? That's the school of drag that I grew up in, and that's what I was given. And here's the thing. If you're going to give it to me like Fashion Police, because I think that's where they got Fashion Photo Review from. They were inspired by Fashion Police. If you can give it to me in a way that's similar to like Joan Rivers in the way of delivering the critiques or whatever, I guess it would work. But when you're on TV, you're doing these shows, I feel like you should allow people to be, if you're doing the type of show and you're critiquing fashions, you should allow them to give their opinion on the stuff without crucifying them or trying to cancel them or whatever the case is. So maybe what it was at the end of the day, people just didn't like Violet's delivery. People just didn't just feel like that her attitude is just very cold and distant or whatever the case is. And they just felt like she shouldn't have been doing a show like Fashion Photo Review. So anyway, we do have one more topic to get to, but let me get to these comments. Oh, that's why I was confused, because you were saying got Mick. It was a typo. Yeah, because so it's from you said, were you trying to say from within the community and the folks that purport to ally with us? Yeah. Okay, then now I get it, because I'm sitting there like sometimes I'll be like, damn, am I bugging? Oh yeah. A lot of people don't particularly. I said also, especially with the Fashion Photo Review and stuff, I don't think people particularly took too kindly to Got Mick and Violet Chachki and their dynamic and how their delivery was toward. They just felt like it was just okay. Now you're being just a mean spirited. See you next Tuesday when you're talking about them, these queens or whatever. Versus we know we're gonna get from someone like a Bianca Del Rio or somebody if they were to do like a fashion photo review, or they do that, or like Bob the Drag Queen or somebody like that. All right, so let's get to our final topic. Let's talk about Michelle Visage, who was finally revealing why RuPaul asked her to host Drag Race Down Under. Now, I'm going to be honest, Drag Race Down Under is not one of my favorite franchises. I have tried so hard to get into that franchise. Canada's Drag Race was not a popular franchise for me either. I did get into it this past season. Like, I think this season, the last season they had of Canada's Drag Race was the one time I actually watched the full season. It's probably because Marlene Verga was a part of it. So that was the only time. And all her stuff trended on social media. She was feeling her goats and all this other stuff, what she was saying. That's what drew me into watching Canada's Drag Race. Other than that, those people on that show is insufferable. Plus the drag be looking a hot ass mess. Like, I feel like there needs to be, and I don't know, people gonna get mad because I want to say all drag is valid, whatever. But I'm sorry, but if you're going to be doing drag, whatever, there needs to be certain rules apply when it comes on this show. I do not need to be seeing you giving me drag if you're not wearing titties, if you got your penis print exposed, you need to tuck. So I don't want y'all to be giving me no kind of, crazy drag where it's like you giving me boy in a damn dress. Like, some of y'all actually need to be putting in that work in regards to like the whole drag situation, if you're going to be a part of a drag show. But it's like, if you say this stuff, then it's like you're invalidating people's drag or whatever the case says. We have to give this to this. But so it's not even about the drag. It's about trying to hit every box or check every box because you want to validate everybody. When everybody ain't gonna win a trophy. That's just the way it is in life. Not everybody's getting a participation trophy. You either win or you don't, or try better next time, or go for all stars. But I could never really get into Drag Race Canada because a lot of them drag queens on there, y'all drag be looking a mess. And Down Under, I could never get into it too because a lot of y'all, a lot of the challenges they were doing were just not interesting. It wasn't giving, and I just didn't care. And it just looked like RuPaul didn't give a damn either, just doing that show. But Michelle Visage, was confirmed to replace Ru. What was it, like last month or maybe a couple of months back? And then it said, while it made perfect sense for Visage would take over for Mama Ru, a few questions remain within the fandom. Like when, how, and why did this happen? So, and that was one of my answers, because I was sitting there like, you know what? I don't really mind Michelle hosting Down Under, but I know a lot of people, including Willem, did not like the idea of a cis woman hosting a show when they should have hired a drag queen. Particularly, she did mention Courtney Act, which, for what I've been told many a times, and many people have been saying on social media, Ru and Courtney Act do not get along. I don't know what the issue was. I don't know what transpired or what happened between them. If y'all know, let me know down in the comments. But for the most part, people were saying like they don't get along. So, but then I do feel like, I'll give my opinion in a second on what I feel about the whole situation. But she said Ru has a massive #1 best-selling book and had a book tour, and it wasn't even a conversation. This is what she explained on the UK talk show Loose Women. He just said, "You're going to do this, right?" I was like, well, yes, I am. And for those of you who don't know, Loose Women is like the British version of The View. So they have that over. I find that's such a hilarious thing, though, Loose Women, because that could mean anything. So when asked about whether she's feeling any pressure to follow in the footsteps of her longtime friend and collaborator, Visage explained, now weirdly, I feel like people are going to compare, but it's not fair because Ru is Ru and I am myself. But that's going to happen no matter what. I just have to focus on what I'm there to do, which is to help those kids be the best that they can be, shine, and give them the critique that they deserve, good or bad. Later in the interview, Visage talked about having zero idea that the Drag Race franchise would have a significant of pop culture impact in the world, saying that you can't know that. When you set out on a show, whether you're acting, singing, performing, or presenting, you hope it's going to be the next big thing. You hope it's going to last 15 seasons. You all have been here forever as well, so it's a gift, but you never know. She also added by saying, sometimes I've done shows where I'm like, oh, this is it. This is an award winner, and then it's gone in a week, so you just don't know. Well, funny enough, I kind of knew based off of watching RuPaul's Drag Race, the potential that it had. I was in college when the first RuPaul's Drag Race came out, the first season. And I was supposed to be working on my film school stuff, but instead Chris was there watching episodes of Drag Race because I didn't have Logo, and Logo wasn't this big channel that you could get. So I was in my class on the computer, supposed to be editing, and I'm watching RuPaul's Drag Race. And first season 1 with the crazy filter and everything, where everything was blurred. And RuPaul's Drag Race has come a long way. So I knew like the potential because people, RuPaul's career was kind of like in the toilet at that point, and this was a way for him to resurrect his career. And it was perfect because it's like America's Next Top Model meets Project Runway, but with drag queens. Like that totally works. And RuPaul being someone who has proven themselves and solidified themselves as like this big mainstream drag queen, the show is perfect. It works. So it came at the right time, which was what, 2009? It came at the right time and it did what it did. But I do agree. Who knew that it would become the phenomenon that it is today, especially when you have all these different spinoffs and then you have a convention, like a drag con. You have this big convention that supports all these queens to come in with the merch and sell things and all this other stuff and have them do what they do. So I love that the machine that it's built. Although I would say that it is time for other drag type of shows. If this is what it's going to be, there should be other aspects of drag showcased on television that we should see, not just RuPaul's Drag Race being the end all be all. I know we have Can't Wanna Kiki. I know we also have Dragula, which shows more of an alternative horror drag, the filth part of drag culture, the more alternative side. And they're very much more open to showing all different types of drag, which would be, drag kings go on the show, and then we have all types of other, styles of drag that gets to be highlighted, which I absolutely love that Dragula presents that side. But I do feel like that we need other aspects of showcasing drag, like drag performers, like drag people, drag queens who actually get up there and they dance and they give like that sort of stuff. Like I want to see other aspects of drag. It's not just the only aspect of what RuPaul is showing. Like real drag queens and real competitive type shit. I know everybody been saying that we need like a Big Brother type of drag show. Like that would be a key. Like we could see drag queens in a Big Brother type setting. That would be dope. Or maybe if we had something like drag race meets the traders. Like if we had something like that, that would be lit. I would love to see something like that. Or drag queens like So You Think You Could Dance with drag queens. Let me stop giving away all my damn ideas. So, but then in regards to the whole Michelle Visage situation, well, look, if the opportunity presents itself, y'all need a host. I'll host them shows. But anyway, but in regards to the Michelle Visage situation, I think I would have loved to have seen a drag queen host Drag Race. Like, I think drag queens should be hosting a show about drag, or like a show about drag. Or if you're a fan of drag, if you're someone who grew up and is a fan of drag but doesn't do drag, like myself, I love drag. I would host the show, but I'm not judging it. I would let drag queens get up there and judge. But if there was ever a show about drag queens, y'all needed a host, I'd be the pray tell of the show and kind of give that side of it and not just me doing drag. Or if I have to, I was like, y'all can make me, I'll put on an outfit and I'll do some drag just as the host, where I could walk a mile in these people's shoes and the fans at home the naysayers could shut the hell up. So I say all this to say this will be the one time I'll probably sit through a couple of episodes, maybe even a season of Drag Race Down Under, and I'll see if Michelle has what it takes to host. But look, we got a taste of her hosting when she did UK versus, was it UK? Yeah, it was UK versus the World. In the beginning, when Rue was sick, y'all heard it. We was all congested and stuff, and then Michelle came in halfway through, I think, episode 2, and she basically was doing hosting duties. I think that was the opportunity for her to showcase herself as a host. But honestly, I don't know if it has anything to do with him selling that, promoting the book or whatever. I just think RuPaul just his heart was not into hosting Down Under, and he was just ready to pass a baton to another queen. But then there's also raises the question, and then we'll get off of it. Do you think that RuPaul is at a place where he's ready to hang it up as the host of Drag Race? And if that is what's going to happen, who would be a good queen to successfully pass the torch down to host Drag Race? Because if you're going to be putting it in a situation where you're going to have Michelle Visage hosting other spinoffs or one of the spinoffs, does this mean like, okay, in the next 4 or 5 years, Rue's looking at it as like, okay, I'm ready to step down from doing Drag Race and I'll be on as an executive producer, but I'm ready to bring in some fresh meat to host the show. And who out there, since the show is all about trying to become not the next RuPaul, but to be in the same playing field as Ru, who would be a good host? I don't know if I can think of anybody off the top of my head that would be a good successor. But I mean, I do like Nikki Doll on France one. I think the new season of Drag Race France comes out this week, right? I was like, I love Nikki Doll. I love Pajana Hills. I don't know what happened with not Philippines, because she wasn't on that one. She was on Thailand one. I think they canceled that one. I did like the Philippines one. I like what was it? I love UK. I kind of wish RuPaul would have hosted the Canada one, because I don't particularly care for Canada. And I think, with me, if I had a bunch of spinoffs, I'm hosting all the English language ones. And then I'll have everybody else do the spinoffs. Because that's a check. And I can write that shit off in my taxes. But anyway, I know I went on a while for this one. Let me know what you guys think about this story down below, because I definitely want to hear your thoughts. Are you guys here for Michelle Visage hosting Down Under? Let me know down below. All right, so we got comments, and then we will be out of here with today's show. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. They said they mean girl those episodes. It was meant to be funny, but didn't read as tongue in cheek, and that's what it is. You got to be able to find that balance. Like, to me, I always feel like if you're gonna do like a review, like with me, when I do reviews and stuff, I realize when you critique stuff, you have to find that balance, which is I'm gonna read you, but I'm gonna give you some constructive criticism. I'm gonna throw some jokes in there. And I'm gonna kind of finesse it in a way where it doesn't come off being mean-spirited, because I don't like mean girl shit. Like, I will cuss your ass out with that. I don't like bullies. I don't like mean-spirited stuff. So if you're gonna you have to come from a place of, you know what? You criticize, but you mean well. So you have to find that balance. And to me, Violet Chachki and Got Milk have like this whole, they do give mean girl energy type situation to these type of situations, which is why I think it rubbed people the wrong way. Like, I don't want that y'all a little too damn sensitive that y'all can't take a joke. I don't like that stuff. But yeah, for the most part, I do have an issue with people who are just, mean for the sake of being mean. So I do agree with that. It said freedom of expression is valid. Doing it for fame and money ruins it for everybody else. Venus from Canada, in my humble opinion. Yeah, that's who I was reading when I was talking about that with the tuck in and all that other stuff. That's who I was talking. Look, we here. That's what I was talking about. She was horrible. It's like, first of all, I'm seeing your dick print. You wasn't even tucking. You had boy chest. You had minimal makeup on. Your wigs looked a mess, and you sitting up in here winning a show. Like, are you kidding me? But if you critique people in a way, then you get these people who don't know shit about drag, who have never really interacted, mingled with, or partaken in drag culture, which I was practically raised in, going to many gay clubs back in the 2000s on down, maybe even earlier than that. Sneaking into clubs and stuff when I was in the late 90s, because yeah, I was going into clubs, finding ways of getting up in there. I think we all did that. We all snuck up in the clubs coming up in New York and shit. There was always ways if you knew the right people. I knew a lot of DJs, still do. I knew a lot of promoters, still do. So, when you go and you critique it, then people want to go out here and say, make their little, comments. Oh, you're being transphobic, or you're being this. It's like, no, it's not that. If you're going to come up in here looking a hot ass mess, you're going to get critiqued. And be like, sis, if you're going to come out here and you're going to give drag, like one of the one-on-one things, I mean, unless you're, giving me drag like Kevin Aviance, who doesn't tuck, then I can understand that. And there are drag queens who don't tuck, that give bearded drag. Like, I like a bearded drag queen. But a lot of times, the bearded queens do fit the criteria of they're wearing the boobs, they're tucking, or I'm a queen that does chest hair. Like, I don't mind any of that other stuff. But as long as you still giving me drag illusion, and you fit in the confines of that, then yes, you can't be doing drag, and then your wig look a mess, like it ain't been combed in a week. You don't even bother putting chest in to give the illusion you got boobs. You're not even tucking. And then your clothes look a mess. It's like, but this is the drag that you're trying to present, and this is what you're winning over. So yeah, Venus should not have won. No shade, just saying. She's it sets unreal, yeah, and it does set and unrealistic expectations and standards. I wouldn't get along with Rue either. Yes, bring on the drag kings. I don't know what's the issue with bringing drag kings on RuPaul's Drag Race. I know Naysha Lopez got in trouble for saying something or another about, oh yeah, but then they have to work the challenges based on the, because the drag queens have to do one thing and the drag kings they can't do. I was like, well, look, first of all, it would force the producers, you know, to come up with challenges that would not only benefit the drag kings but also benefit um everyone else on the show, that everybody can be able to partake in. Why can't we bring on drag kings? I would love to see what drag kings could bring to the table. And if there comes challenges where the drag kings have to fem it up, I'm sure they wouldn't have a problem with that either. It's just like where we've seen drag queens on the show who done man drag. Milk has dressed up in man drag. Milan has done man drag on the show, and we've heard Michelle make a little comments talking about, you know how I feel about drag queens coming on. This is a show about drag queens. We should not be dressing up in man clothes. Why the fuck not? Because it's like drag kings drag is just as valid, so they should be able to showcase that. So I'm here for the opportunity to see, drag kings on the show and how they work within that space. I think we've seen drag kings fem it up a bit on Dragula. So if they could do it there, they could do it on Drag Race. This just feels like these producers is being lazy. I said drag queen yes, it would. We definitely need a drag queen version of Traders. Because I'm like, bitch, first of all, I love Traders, but I don't like the fact that y'all be picking out a token, homosexual or a token queen to be on the show. Like last season they had Peppermint on. I never seen this first season, so I don't know if they had any drag queens on there. Speaking of which, I know there's this show. Damn it, I forgot the name of it, but I need to watch it. It's on Prime Video, Amazon Prime Video. Alyssa Edwards is on there. Reza Farhan is on there, and Jill Zarin. Bitch, I've been hearing so much about that show. I'm like, oh, I need to watch it. So I would love to see like a version. If y'all not gonna give us a drag queen version, and then look, that would be the best show to have. Oh my God, what's the name of the host? Alan Cumming hosted, because he still has Club Cumming in New York. I wonder if he and Dan Ardisio still work that whole situation out. But anyway, I would love, like I say, a drag queen Traders. That definitely would be everything, because the gays, we will give good TV, and you don't know who to trust. Yes, I definitely would watch it too. Let me host it. I was like, look, they got I don't want Ellen coming to use my ID. Yeah, Bob the Drag Queen, or oh yeah, Bob the Drag Queen actually would be good to do it, because look, he's with Madonna. He just did the tour of Madonna, whatever. I would love to see Bianca Del Rio host it, because you know what, Bianca Del Rio, she can curb the cussing. She can curb the cussing. There's a way for her to do around it. Like, she knows if she's gonna be on TV. And one of the things I love about Bianca Del Rio is the fact that she'll give you shade and read you and give you, like, really go in and be critical, but also she can give you that motherly side of her. So I think that would be perfect. You could shoot Drag Race for a month, which is what Month of Some Changes they do. And then after that, you go on your tours and you do your comedy tour, whatever the case was. So yeah, I think that would be perfect. So I do think that's perfect. Bob the Drag Queen or Bianca Del Rio will be two great additions to hosting Drag Race. And I would love to see them in that space. I know a few people I've talked to didn't like, what was the show that Bianca Del Rio host? It was Fashion Photo Review, right? Or was it when they were reviewing the show? When they do like the after show with Drag Race, they had Bianca hosted it, and I know a lot of people didn't particularly think she fit in that. But I think she would be a good addition for hosting Drag Race if Rue ever decided to step down. Oh yeah, so Thailand is saying, yeah, because they've been gone for a minute, and I was curious to find out what the hell's going on with that show. But I said I forget which episode of Parts Unknown, but it featured a ladyboy bar. Great episode. Might have been Thailand. I won't look it up. Well, shout out to all the ladyboys that's in Thailand. It's with Anthony Bourdain. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, didn't he unalive himself? I was like, anyway. Oh yeah, they had Reza on Trader season 1, so close. Yeah, because there is a show on Amazon Prime that features it's a bunch of reality stars, and I cannot remember the name of it. Look, I hope my phone listening to me so that way they can tell me what the damn name of the show is. But oh, wait a minute, because I'm like sitting here looking on there and seeing like maybe the show comes up and they tell me what the name of the damn show is, but it's not. Oh, it's called The GOAT. Thank you. It's funny how I came up across it on my phone the minute you posted it. So yeah, the show is called The GOAT, and it's on Amazon Prime Video, and all that good stuff. So yeah, so any more questions, comments, or concerns before we sign off? Because yeah, look, it's another 3-hour damn show, but that's because I was interacting with you guys, so I don't care about how long the show is. But anyway, I'm gonna cut it up per usual into like segment clips and all that stuff. But anyway, so yeah, okay, so yeah. So yeah, and before you guys sign on, please do yourselves a solid and do me a solid. Hit that like button, that subscribe button, and the notification button so that way when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I want to thank everybody who's been tuning into the show, the people who have been subscribing to the show, the people who have been hitting me up and letting me know how much they love the show. I love the fact that the show is growing by the day. I've been getting a lot of subscribers that have been subscribing to the channel and showing. I definitely appreciate everybody who has shown their love for this channel and that sort of thing and have been riding with me. All the people who've been with me from the beginning and the people who have, who've just come in and discovered the show and is enjoying it and is being entertained and it's helping their day go by fast and that sort of thing. I definitely appreciate y'all and got love for y'all and stuff. So yes, once again, please hit that hmm Thank you for supporting. I said yes. And good luck with everything you got going on. I don't want to put your business all on social media, but yes, feel better and all the other stuff. So, wait, what happened? Uh, thank you. Have a good day to you too. And so yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in. Love you all guys and for continuing to support the channel and all that good stuff. Also, hit that like button, subscribe button, notification button, so that way when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I'm about to go get me something to eat, y'all. I am hungry. I have not eaten anything all day. The only thing I had today was a cup of black coffee. I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe because I wasn't hungry, but now it's really like hitting me. And throughout the show, my stomach, that's probably why I've been feeling a little gassy because my body's like, bitch, you need to put some food up in you. But anyway, so once again, thank you all for watching. And until next time, ciao, darlings.